3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live from the Newsmax studios, this is the Steve Malzberg Show. Be a part of the action by calling toll-free 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Or email Steve at malzbergshow@newsmax.com. Here is Steve Malzberg.
And welcome to the Steve Malzberg Show, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Wednesday edition, and we are privileged to start it off by welcoming in for the first time to the show Senator Marco Rubio from the great state of Florida. Hello, Senator. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. Some breaking news before we get to your bill, which would delay Obamacare's individual mandate implementation. We have some news from CBS News today. They say that the shop and browse feature on the website, if you could get on the website, comes with the wrong price tags. It lumps people into two broad groups, 50 and over and 49 or under. And then it takes a 27-year-old typical person to price the policies for under 50 and a 50-year-old typical person to price the policies for everyone 50 and over. So in the case of many seniors, for example, they point out that the premiums could say $327, but they're actually $680. I mean, the whole thing is nuts.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just one more dysfunction of the website now. It's also not giving you accurate information, underestimating the true costs for people. You know, and if you did that in the business world, you'd probably get sued. So just imagine they're doing that to people now in the government sector. Look, this thing is a disaster. Every day is going to bring more bad news. To begin with, the federal government shouldn't be in the business of doing all this. And even if it's, and then number two, it can't do a good job of it, as you're well seeing. The federal government just is not capable of doing projects of this magnitude in an effective way, and we're seeing it again. And that's why it's so unfair that people next year are going to have to pay a fine to the IRS for not buying health insurance when the website they're being sent to buy it from doesn't work.
And your bill would delay any punishment to anybody who's not signed up until that website is up and running for 6 months and then certified as efficient, correct?
That's right. I mean, look, to be clear, I mean, I want to get rid of the whole thing and repeal it. I think ultimately that's going to happen. But in the interim, I certainly feel like we have an obligation to protect people from the harmful effects that the rollout of this law is having. And I just think it's fundamentally unfair. And I don't know how anyone can disagree with me. I think it's fundamentally unfair that the government will be able to fine you and tax you for not buying health insurance if the website that they're touting and asking you to use not only doesn't work, but is giving you inaccurate information, as you've outlined.
Well, you say you don't know how anyone could dispute that. I would say that's common sense. But defying common sense, once again, is Nancy Pelosi, who said she does not support an extension of the Obamacare open enrollment. She said, I think we should be able to go forward. There are glitches, but there are solutions as well. So there's one.
Well, again, I think they're going to be stubborn about it. They're going to dig in. I think this is their pet project. They were willing to shut down the U.S. government over to protect this issue. They've been willing to do all sorts of things. You saw how they bent the rules just to get it passed when it first happened in the middle of the night. So, again, it doesn't surprise me, but eventually the lines will crack on this because the pressure will be too intense. You simply can't do this to people. And you're already starting to see Democrats, like my own colleague from New Hampshire, Senator Shaheen, coming out and saying, well, maybe we should make some changes to this. And I think you're going to hear more and more of that in the days to come.
Senator, in your own home state, Florida Blue is terminating about 300,000 policies. That's 80% of its individual policies. You have the same thing happening in California, in Pittsburgh, in cities and states all over the country. This is according to a report out today. And this isn't going to stop. And, you know, the lie that if you like your insurance, you could keep your insurance is not proving to be the case.
Well, that's right. And the one thing that Obama really hurts is the individual marketplace. And people, you know, those are people that go out and buy insurance for themselves, maybe they're self-employed or whatever. They go out and buy their own health insurance. They don't get it through an employer or through the government. That's the one thing that's being eviscerated by Obamacare. That's where the 300,000 is coming from. So imagine if you're one of those 300,000 people today. You've just lost your insurance. You log on to the Federal Exchange to see what you're going to have as coverage next year, and guess what? The thing doesn't work. So you can just imagine what those folks are going through right now, and it's just one more one more reason why this whole law is such a terrible idea.
Senator Kathleen Sebelius was interviewed on CNN yesterday. Basically, I'm not signing up. I already have health care. And, oh, no, the president, he didn't know anything about any problems until 1 or 2 days after the launch. And, by the way, when asked about resigning, she just danced around that question. Should she be fired, or should she resign, or should she stay?
That might be.
Should she be fired, or should she resign, or should she stay?
That might be. Based on that, I'll make a determination about what I think she should do. Obviously, she's here and not listen to me. That's how I feel about it. But just think about that for a moment. And it's the chief spokesperson for this law.
We had a little trouble hearing you because of your cell phone. You basically said, when I asked you, should Kathleen Sebelius be fired or not, you said you're going to talk to her at the hearings next week, but in the meantime, she should stay?
Yeah, well, in the meantime, is between now and next week. So there's going to be a hearing in the House. They're going to have very clear questions of her, and hopefully from that we'll have more indications about what she knew or should have known and what she failed to do personally. At the end of the day, she's accountable for this. But the idea the president didn't know anything about this is startling to me. He is the chief spokesperson for this law. How can he not know? How could he not ask how was the website going before it launched?
Well, it seems to be a pattern with this president. One more for you very quickly, Senator. The congressman from your state, Alan Grayson, recently just launched a fundraising letter with a cross, a burning cross, representing, and then after the burning cross is the T, it says Tea Party, EA Party. There hasn't been a lot of outrage, not as much as I think there should be. What's your reaction to something like that?
Well, it's not surprising. This is an individual who's had a history of outrageous and ridiculous claims and comments, and he's not held accountable by anybody. The mainstream media just kind of ignores it. If that were a Republican or a conservative, of course, they'd be calling for their resignation. There'd be mass protests. But you won't hear any talk about that. And I think it just exposes the hypocrisy in the mainstream media. But I'm not surprised that this individual did that. I mean, he's been embarrassing the state of Florida now for the better part of 4 to 6 years. All
right. Senator, thank you very much, sir, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's Senator Mark Rubio. Yeah, Grayson really is never held accountable, and he is an embarrassment at the very least. There you go. Very interesting conversation. He's doing a bunch of these kinds of things to get the word out about his bill. We also have a report today, as if this wasn't enough, and we're gonna get you Actually, we'll take a break, and eventually we'll get to the CBS report about how, imagine, on the website, when you get into the website, they have two categories, 50 or over or 49 and under. And then they give you a price based on a 27-year-old if you're 49 or under, and a 50-year-old if you're 50 or over. So if you're 60, 70, 80, it's gonna be tremendously more. And if you're 30 and 40 and 45, it's going to be tremendously more. So people are going online, they're putting in 50 or over or 49 and under, and they're getting cockamamie estimates for their policies that are completely inaccurate. And that's done on purpose. That's not, a glitch, a technological glitch. But anyway, here's another report that I want to get in here before we go to break. The Obama administration asked the North Dakota, their largest insurer, in North Dakota, not to publicize how many people have signed up for health insurance through a new online exchange. During a forum in Fargo for people interested, James Nickel of Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota told the crowd his company received a request from the federal government not to reveal how many people have signed up. The most open and transparent government and administration in our history, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're coming back. Lots more ahead. 877 Newsmax, 877-639-7629 on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Hi, this is Dick Morris. Obamacare is taking full effect this year with over 15,000 pages of regulations. You need to know how this law affects you. That's why you should get your copy of Obamacare's Survival Guide. It's easy to read and the best guide to the new law. Even if you're currently insured or a senior on Medicare or a business owner, a medical professional, or really any citizen, you need the Obamacare Survival Guide. In it, you'll find about hidden taxes, fees, and fines, including a 40% tax on some health plans. I warned you about Obamacare. It's rationing, Medicare cuts, and will trigger doctor shortages. Now the Obamacare Survival Guide gives you the simple steps to protect your family.
Get the Obamacare Survival Guide at bookstores everywhere. It's already an Amazon bestseller. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 today. Go to Obamacare311.com. Obamacare311.com. That's Obamacare311.com.
In 2013, half of your friends, family, and neighbors may lose their jobs, all while you are robbed of 90% of your life savings, investments, and home's value. Controversial economist Robert Wiedemer, who was the only expert to predict the recession, has released a startling video with shocking evidence that the powers that be have tried to ban. But that hasn't stopped 50 million people from getting the truth. Watch it at aftbook.com. That's aftbook.com.
What is LigNet? LigNet is knowledge. LigNet is power. LigNet is global. Top-level officials, U.S. intelligence officers, national security advisors, foreign operatives, all reporting directly to you. What is LigNet? LigNet is confidential. LigNet is sensitive. LigNet is security. What is LigNet? They're the ones taking the world's pulse. If you're not in the know, you're not on lignet.com. You've been briefed.
I used to sleep like a baby. Now I have to get up in the middle of the night just to go to the bathroom. And not just once.
Men, if you suffer from frequent urination, the inability to empty your bladder, a hesitant urine stream, or leaking due to an aging prostate, listen to this. Renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein believes this does not need to be an inevitable part of aging. After extensive research, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Prostate Revive, the dietary supplement specifically formulated to help improve and sustain normal prostate function. And now you can receive a 30-day supply of Prostate Revive. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. For complete details, visit prostaterevive.com/offer. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Prostate. Learn how you can try Prostate Revive for 30 days at prostaterevive.com/offer. Hurry, limited time offer. That's prostaterevive.com/offer.
150 million people suffer from headaches. All you want is for the pounding in your head to stop. Migralex stops the pounding. Migralex was developed by a neurologist and founder of the New York Headache Center.
I'm neurologist Dr. Alex Malzberg. After studying and researching the human brain for 25 years, I've developed Migralex, which eliminates pounding headaches. It works for my patients, and I'm so convinced it will work for you. I don't just guarantee it, I put my name on it.
Dr. Malzberg's Migralex gets rid of headaches fast without harsh caffeine, sodium, or preservatives.
Migralex works unbelievably fast, and it's gentle on my stomach.
Find out how to get your free bottle of Migralex. Call 800-532-2967. Plus, if you're one of the first 100 callers, you'll also receive the Migralex Quick Tips to Headache Relief absolutely free. That's 800-532-2967. Or go to migralexrelief.com. MIGRALEX relief.com. Or call 800-532-2967.
Where can you find the Steve Malzberg Show? Everywhere. From your smartphone to satellite radio to Newsmax Live TV to Roku, we have you covered. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. And joining us right now, all the way from the left coast, and how he puts up with Stanford University we were just talking about. But he is the William J. Casey Fellow and president of the Government Accountability Institute for the Hoover Institution. And he is the author of a great new best-selling book, Extortion: How Politicians Extract Your Money, Buy Votes, and Line Their Own Pockets. We welcome in Peter Schweizer. Hello, Peter.
Hey, it's great to be back with you, Steve.
Great to have you back, and great to have you in studio this time around. And, you know, we're sitting here and we're talking before the interview started. I don't even know where to start. But, you know, I asked you if you had any take on the Justice Department and J.P. Morgan and this $13 billion settlement going after Mr. Diamond's group after they stopped supporting Obama. and that the war against the banks is just beginning. And you brought up a very good point about the Obama Justice Department.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting here in New York. You probably remember, 20 years ago, the squeegee guys, that would
Absolutely.
come to your car and they'd have
spit. No, if you're lucky, they had water and liquid. Sometimes they'd spit and run newspaper on it. Believe me.
And so they got that in one hand and they got a brick, let's say, in the other hand. And it's like, don't pay, I'm going to put this brick. Well, literally, Eric Holder is the guy holding the brick. And what I point out in the book is that the Department of Justice has selectively been going after some and not after others. And we're talking here about potentially facing criminal charges and jail time on very, very obscure or nebulous laws like the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, where you can charge anybody with anything. And they literally are targeting President Obama's political opponents. And so it's really the same kind of thing. If you pay up, you'll be fine. If you donated to the Obama campaign or you now donate to Obama political organizations, you'll be fine. If you don't, the proverbial brick is going to be thrown through your windshield. And the consequences are going to be bigger than just having your car windshield broken.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is so scary to think that that's our Justice Department. I don't want to get bogged down on the Justice Department. Let's move along to a nomination that was announced, I guess, on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe last Friday, and that's for the new Homeland Security Director position, which is kind of an important position, you would think. And this fits right in, and this is the first thing that comes to mind when I see the title of your book, Extortion. What about the guy that has been nominated? I think it's Jay Johnson.
Right.
And here's a guy who donated tens of thousands of dollars to Obama's campaign in 2008. Whereas his qualification to be Homeland Security Director.
Yeah, I mean, this is what's also very troubling. I mean, we all accept and believe and know that presidents come in, they're going to get to sort of select their people. That's subject to Senate confirmation. But really what's happened in the last 4 or 5 years is sort of the merging of political operations with governing operations. Take the Department of Justice, and this is very similar to what you're seeing with Secretary Johnson at HHS.
Not yet, he's not.
Homeland Security. Yes.
Nominee, yeah.
Yes. The top 5 people at the Department of Justice, starting with Eric Holder, the Attorney General, and others, were all campaign bundlers for the Obama campaign. These are the people that are deciding what the policy is going to be, who they're going after, who they're not going after with civil or criminal charges. They were bundlers for the campaign. And so you have this sort of politicized component of the Department of Justice that is unprecedented.
I was going to say, bundlers usually wound up as ambassadors to Japan or something.
That's
not
exactly,
anymore. Now they run the government.
That's exactly right. I mean, if you look at George W. Bush, for example, he certainly had bundlers. There were 2 relatively low-level Department of Justice officials that were bundlers. The others that became Attorney General or Associate Attorney General, those were not fundraisers. And so this is a politicized movement, and I think it reflects a mindset in D.C. that you see with this administration. You also see with both political parties in Congress that what we're talking about here is extortion. We think a lot of times that if we just left our politicians alone and didn't have all these bad outside influences trying to, pressure and control them, everything would be fine. Certainly there is that problem, but I think a larger problem is the political class basically threatening private companies, industries, and basically saying you need to pony up, and if you don't pony up, we're going to throw the book at you. There's a survey done, Steve, that says over half of corporate executives that gave donations said they did so because they feared if they didn't, something bad would happen to their company or their industry.
And today, the insurance companies, the private insurance companies, are meeting at the White House with Barack Obama and Kathleen Sebelius, and boy, would there be a fly on the wall of that meeting? What the heck is he going to be saying to them? And they're going to come out all smiles and say, we're right behind good old Doc Obama.
Yeah, and this is what happened when the bill was being debated in 2009. There were several health companies that were going to send out flyers to their customers saying, hey, this is being debated. This could affect your rates. They were basically told, we will subject you to a federal investigation if you do this. And, for a health insurance company, keep in mind that Medicare, Medicaid, the policies that are established by HHS, it can destroy a health insurance company.
Absolutely.
So you're going to pay attention. And so we have a very serious problem, I think, where you essentially have this political class which is intimidating citizens and companies and saying what they can and can't do.
We're talking to Peter Schweizer, his new book, Extortion, How Politicians Extract Your Money, Buy Votes, and Line Their Own Pockets. Your previous bestseller, Throw Them All Out, about the members of Congress. I want to ask you about that. Who was I speaking to the other day about whether or not Speaker Boehner's position is safe? It was a congressman, and he alluded to the fact that nobody, it was a Tea Party congressman, and nobody's going to, no one's inclined to try to overthrow the speaker because of the establishment within the Republican Party, and it works this way with the Democrats too, where you're dependent upon their support, their money, their committee assignments, and all that. And you write extensively in your book about how money changes hands, promises are made, arms are twisted, bribes are taken and made to get chairmanships, to be on certain committees. So it's almost a hopeless situation if you're a Tea Partier or just an American who's concerned and wants change and wants to change the status quo within either party. It's really not going to happen.
Well, I'm an optimist by nature, and I think you're right. It is a terrible situation that we're in right now. There are, and we actually publish in the appendix of Extortion, the actual party lists of how much you have to pay if you want to be on the Ways and Means Committee, how much you have to pay.
And what do you mean when you say pay?
Literally, the party says if you want to be on the House Ways and Means Committee,
what, you got to give money?
You've got to give them, say, $400,000.
Give who?
You have to give the party $400,000
from your campaign war chest.
Well, you have to raise it, and the members of Congress, of course, they don't want to go back to their constituents and say, "I got to." So who do they go to? They go to the lobbyists, the people that they're going to be regulating and dealing with, to raise that money. And if you don't come up with the money, they will boot you off of a committee. You could be a medical doctor. It makes sense you're on a health committee. If you don't pony up the cash, they're going to put you on a less powerful, less important committee.
That is just insanity. Just total insanity. But what about also briefly the dependency of the incumbent Republican or Democratic congressperson who has to run again in a year and a half or a year or whatever, can't really fight the leadership, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. They use money as a form of control. It's carrot, but there's also a lot of stick. And so it's very, very hard for people to challenge the authority. And John Boehner, for example, in the House, Nancy Pelosi for the Democrats, have really made their reputations as people who can raise a lot of cash. Some of that cash comes because people just support their ideas. A lot of it comes because industries are scared and feel they have to play ball.
All right, listen, it's all in here and much, much more, folks. Extortion, how politicians extract your money, buy votes, and line their own pockets. Peter Schweizer, great to see you, Peter. Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it.
Always great.
When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Barone will be here, and he's got a new one, and we're going to talk more about Obamacare and the union's revolt against it. That's right. On the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
When you were younger, you probably never considered your heart health. But cardiologist Dr. Chauncey Crandall knows from experience that taking steps to care for your heart becomes more crucial as the decades pass, if you want to keep this vital organ ticking smoothly for years to come. That's why Dr. Crandall recently developed Cardio Advanced, a nutritional supplement containing 12 special ingredients, all selected to help improve and maintain your heart health and normal cholesterol levels. The flagship of this exclusive formula, esterified plant sterols, may help lower your risk of heart disease when taken as part of a diet low in cholesterol and fat. And great news, now you have the opportunity to try a 30-day supply of Cardio Advanced. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping and handling charge. Plus, if you act right now, you'll also receive a free doctor's guide to a healthy heart as a special bonus. Please visit cardioadvanced.com/radio for complete details on claiming your 30-day bottle of Cardio Advanced and free report. That's cardioadvanced.com/radio. Life is too precious to ignore your heart health. Visit cardioadvanced.com/radio now while supplies last.
Do you have a motorized wheelchair or scooter that needs repairs and you don't know where to turn? Then call the experts at Precision Repair Network. They are the specialists in repairing all makes and models of motorized wheelchairs and scooters. You can call 24/7 and they will come to you anywhere in the United States. They'll give you a loaner to use until they return yours in perfect condition. And your repairs may be covered by your Medicare or your private insurance, so there is little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. If your wheelchair or scooter needs repairs, call this special hotline now and learn how you can get door-to-door service on your repairs at little or no cost to you. Precision Repair Network. They'll get you moving again. Operators are ready to take your call right now. 800-978-4813. 800-978-4813. 800-978-4813. That's 800-978-4813.
Constipation, gas, bloating. Most people suffer through. But now there's a simple solution for occasional digestive problems called Bactipro. Developed by holistic medical doctor David Brownstein, Bactipro is the fiber probiotic formula that supports healthy digestive and immune health. And it comes in the form of an easy-to-eat, tasty wafer. Bactipro contains 6 powerful strains of beneficial probiotic bacteria, dietary fiber, and bacteria-nourishing prebiotics, plus powerful antioxidants. Now you can receive a 30-day supply of Bactipro. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit Bactipro.com/special. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Probiotics and Your Health. Improve your digestive health now. Learn how you can receive your 30-day supply at Bactipro.com/special. That's BACTIPRO.com/special. Bactipro.com/special.
This is not your typical Screamfest talk show. No. This is the next generation of talk radio. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, busy show. Marco Rubio, Peter Schweitzer, and now we are joined, I am very happy to say, once again, by a man who a couple of weeks ago sat here right next to me in the studio, and he is now, who knows where, probably in Washington, D.C., where he is senior political analyst for the Washington Examiner. And, of course, when he was here, we were talking about his great new book, Shaping Our Nation, How Surges of Migration Transformed America and Its Politics. We welcome in the one and only Michael Barone. Hey, Michael, how are you, sir? Ooh, all that introduction, and I hope he heard me at least. But
I did indeed.
There you are. Okay, now I hear you. Okay, good to have you back, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk about the great piece that you wrote the other day about the unions, and very interesting. As we go through what we're going through, and we'll talk about where we are with some new revelations about Obamacare and the fallacy of it all today, coming from CBS News and elsewhere. But the unions. Why are the unions so upset over this whole thing, and why are they ticked off at the administration?
Well, they're upset because some of the terms and conditions of Obamacare, hastily passed, sloppily put together legislation, hurts them and hurts their comparative advantage over non-union employers, or what they regard as such, on contracts. I mean, the Obamacare legislation will, after a delay, impose a tax on the so-called Cadillac plans. Well, unions, when they've tried to organize private sector firms, have said, hey, we'll negotiate these health care plans that you contribute no money towards and that pay for lots and lots of things, the so-called Cadillac plans. Well, they're disfavored under Obamacare. In addition, there's a tax that is imposed or not imposed on the union contracts that hurts them. They've been seeking care from it, and so you got people like James Hoffa, the head of the teachers union, saying that this and leaders of 2 other unions that total 2.9 million members, writing a letter in July saying you really got to fix this. Now, of course, that leads to the question: why did the unions support this thing in the first place? I think part of the explanation is that they were playing team ball on the Democratic team. There's also an historic reason that I think reflects perhaps a little better on union leaders' motivations, which is that their movement has consistently, back from the 1940s, and tried to extend to non-union workers benefits that they believe come from union membership. They supported raising the minimum wage, for example. Back in the 50s, they thought this would help them goose up the wages of the industrial workers they represented. They supported things like the ERISA pension law in the 1970s, which standardized the treatment of private sector pensions. They supported things like OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. And in the process, it meant that workers didn't really need unions to negotiate safety conditions as much as they did formerly. They didn't need unions as much as they did formerly.
Right. So you're pointing out that
pension plans.
Right. So you're pointing out that there were good intentions in supporting Obamacare to give the benefits to others and the protection to others that they had, in effect, or a lot of them have.
In effect, they've lost some of their business advantage, some of their comparative advantage in business. And they did so, and I think those of us who've opposed most of the public policy stands of unions have to give them some credit. They did so in part out of something like altruistic motives. This refutes somewhat the assumption of some economists that everybody just seeks to enhance their own economic interest without respect to other people. The unions did this to some extent, and to some extent they've done themselves out of business.
Yeah, and you talk about firefighters and dentists, which I think are two great examples that you give about how we've gone above and beyond to make buildings fireproof, et cetera. Of course, there's a great need for firefighters. Don't get me wrong, but there are less firefighters, as you point out, and that with fluoride in the water and other accommodations for oral hygiene, fewer people are in as great need of a dentist as often as they used to be. So those are two great analogies. But let's talk about so in July. They go to the Obama administration, the unions do, and they say, we're ticked off, and we want the same kind of exemption that you gave to businesses. And basically, why did the Obama administration say no to their buddies?
Well, I think the answer is that it was one stretch too far, that the unions are not perhaps as big a constituency as they used to be, and they figured, well, they're on board our Democratic team, and if they don't like it, well, tough. It's a little hard sometimes to fathom the decision-making process of the Obama team. I mean, the president under the Constitution has an obligation to faithfully execute the laws.
Right.
And the laws of Obamacare says the employment mandate comes into effect on January 1st, 2014. And the Obama administration announces on a pre-4th of July, Friday afternoon blog post that it's not going to enforce that part of the law. Senator Tom Harkin, Democrat of Iowa, says they can't do that. The law says they're supposed to do that. Well, Senator Harkin had a point, but they just went ahead and did it, and sort of, banking on the hope that nobody would have standing to contest this in court, and that they could just get away with it in the confidence that the great and the good, in the form of New York Times editorial writers and so forth, would not mind them. Not faithfully executing the law.
We're talking to Michael Barone, senior political analyst, the Washington Examiner, author of a very, very important new book, Shaping Our Nation: How Surges of Migration Transformed America and Its Politics, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Okay, so since you and I sat together here, the government shutdown ended, the debt ceiling raised, and the horrific revelations of the Obamacare website, but it goes beyond that. CBS News reporting today that the prices, the shop and browse feature, if you could get on the website, it often comes with wrong price tags. They give you two age groups, if you're either 50 and over or 49 and under, and then based on that selection, you get policy priced in for a typical 27-year-old if you're under 50, and a typical 50-year-old if you're 50 or over. And in reality, CBS News found out that a senior citizen could get a quote that's 50%, or let's put it this way, get a quote, and then it turns out to be double that or more. So the whole thing is just insane.
Well, there's an old saying, it's good enough for government work. It looks like this is not good enough for government work. And, put this thing in historic perspective, Steve. They've had 42 months to implement Obamacare and get ready from the passage of the legislation in March 2010 until October 1st. Back in the 1940s, the government built the Pentagon in 18 months.
Yeah, but Kathleen
It's still the world's largest office building in square footage. 18 months, but in 42 months they couldn't do Obamacare. It suggests that the idea of progress is not universally applicable, at least to the federal government.
Well, Kathleen Sebelius yesterday, during her interview with Sanjay Gupta, the same Sanjay Gupta who's now on a mission to try to make Dick Cheney look like he was getting a lack of oxygen to the brain all the time he was the vice president because of his heart condition. Nonetheless, Kathleen Sebelius said, ideally we would have wanted 5 years. That's what she actually said, 5 years to get it rolled out correctly. Man, you start up a business, you get your website up in 6 months. I don't get this.
FDR and the American people won World War II in about half the time of 5 years. So I think, if she wanted 5 years, she should have asked for it back when they were pasting together the Senate, what was ultimately passed as Obamacare, the Senate version in December 2009, and put it in there with the Louisiana Purchase and the Cornhusker kickback.
Let me ask you one more question. How badly did the Republicans blow it and lose, do you think? And how will it affect 2014, if at all?
I think they blew it to some extent. I think that they're taking something of a licking in public opinion on this. I think the strategy to when the House Republicans put themselves under cruise control, as you might say, and demanded the defunding of Obamacare as part of the continuing resolution to continue funding the government. I think that was a tactical mistake, and I think they're paying some price. I think that we still have 13 months till those 2014 congressional elections, and I think that what is happening with Obamacare and what will happen in the next few months, which I can't predict with utter confidence, is probably going to have more bearing on those elections than the fallout from the shutdown.
All right, Michael, great to talk to you again, sir. We'll speak soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Take care. Michael Barone, ladies and gentlemen, senior political analyst, Washington Examiner, shaping our nation, how surges of migration transformed America and its politics, and still doing it, by the way. That's his book out, and its politics, and still doing it, by the way. That's his book out. The offensive against Obamacare had quite a funny bit the other day. We'll let you hear it right here. And you want to weigh in? I'd love to hear from you on the Steve Malzberg Show. 877-NEWSMAX, 877-639-7629. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. You need to watch out because thousands of new Obamacare rules are currently being implemented, and few know what the law says or does. Listen to what Senator Max Baucus, one of the authors of the Obamacare law, recently said.
I tell you, I just see a huge train wreck coming down, and I don't see any results yet. I just see a huge train wreck.
He's right. So protect yourself from this train wreck. Get the #1 bestseller, The Obamacare Survival Guide. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law. Join more than 500,000 Americans who have their copy.
Get the #1 bestseller, The Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare311.com. Obamacare311.com. That's Obamacare311.com.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. Folks ask me, what would Ronald Reagan do if he were with us today? I believe the first thing he'd do is stop Obamacare. Already it's in effect with higher taxes, hidden fees, skyrocketing insurance rates, big Medicare cuts, and some insurance plans are hit with a 40% tax. Protect yourself by getting the Obamacare Survival Guide. It's already a #1 New York Times bestseller. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law, giving you the strategies, tips, and loopholes you need to know. If you're insured on Medicare, a business owner, a medical professional, just about anyone, you need this book.
Get the #1 bestseller, The Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare311.com. Obamacare311.com. That's Obamacare311.com.
Hello, my name is Fred Fleitz, and I'm the managing editor of LigNet. You've probably seen our name preceding some of the stories you read on Newsmax or heard LigNet referenced on Fox News, C-SPAN, or CNN. Perhaps you've asked yourself, what is LigNet? LigNet is an acronym for the Langley Intelligence Group Network, a private Washington, D.C. based service that provides global intelligence, in-depth analysis, and detailed forecasting.
Who is LigNet?
LigNet's staff and advisors include former CIA officers, national security experts, presidential advisors, and top-level government officials from around the world. I myself held several national security posts for the U.S. government during my 25-year career with the Central Intelligence Agency, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the U.S. Department of State, and the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Our lead advisor is General Michael Hayden, the former director of the CIA. He is joined by former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations John Bolton and former chairman of the National Intelligence Council and Special Assistant to President Ronald Reagan Fritz Ehrmann, former U.S. Ambassador to Venezuela Otto Reich, and former clandestine service officer Frederick Russman. Former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee Peter Hoekstra also joined our advisory board staff.
What is LigNet's mission?
Every day, our goal is to use our expertise, our resources, and our worldwide staff to take the pulse of the ever-changing political and economic landscape and the threats we face on a daily basis. Whether you are following global events for your portfolio or business, or just interested in the world around you, LigNet provides what you need to know to keep up with global events.
What are the benefits of joining LigNet?
There are many. Every day, LigNet members receive the Morning Brief, a daily email that provides summaries and links to our daily analysis to keep you up to date on LigNet's assessments. LigNet members receive unrestricted access to LigNet's secure database of global analysis. All of our special reports, previous analyses, and exclusive video interviews with intelligence insiders are available to members 24 hours a day. But you also get top-notch analysis that resembles the President's Daily Brief, the classified intelligence assessment delivered to the President of the United States every morning. LigNet also sends breaking news emails to our membership list. If there is a development of global proportions or a terror alert, our subscribers are always the first to know. I hope you now have a better understanding of what LigNet is, but more importantly, recognize how truly invaluable LigNet can be. As the old saying goes, knowledge is power.
Join LigNet for $1. Go to lignet.com/radio.
Get off the sidelines and be a part of the show. Call Steve toll-free at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, folks, as if you didn't know, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. By the way, coming up in the next hour, we will be joined by Katie McHugh, editor of the Daily Caller, to discuss how Obama seeks to, or Obamacare, as we alluded to the other day, seeks to segregate patients and doctors. In other words, white doctors would deal with white patients, and you know the rest. The implication being that white doctors don't really have empathy or sympathy for any patient if they're not white, which is outrageous, but it fits right into the Obama mindset, does it not? And there's some very loosely worded language in Obamacare that would permit this kind of medical segregation, if you will. just when you think it can't get any more insane. So Katie will be here. David French, senior counsel for the American Center for Law and Justice, the ACLJ, will join us. They say that they have evidence that Obama was involved in the IRS scandal, that it went all the way to Obama. So we'll get to the bottom of that as well. But right now, Jon Stewart, where so many youngsters and aspiring journalists, according to Frank Sesno, get their news from these days, God help us, actually had some very interesting things to say about Barack Obama and his little presser the other day where, remember, the woman fainted, touting how great the product is, what a great product. And here's cut number 13.
The Affordable Care Act is not just a website. The health insurance that's available to people is working just fine. Instead of paying $1,600 per month, we have a plan that will only cost us $692 a month. And that's a good deal. The product is good. I want people to be able to get this great product. And that product is working. It's really good.
When did the President of the United States turn into Gil from The Simpsons?
All right, now, if like me, you don't know who the heck Gil from The Simpsons is, he now played for you a piece of tape that will let you know exactly who Gil from The Simpsons is and why he reminds him of Obama. Next cut.
Ah, she's a beaut. You can't beat a Coleco. How many can I put you down for? A lot? Please say a lot. I need this.
He just wants to listen. It's a good product. All right, but listen. He didn't stop, baby. Ron Popeil kept on selling.
You just heard Janice's story. She owns her own small business. She recently became the first woman to enroll in coverage through Delaware's exchange.
So that's one. You know, people say you can't use the website. Have you told them about Janice? From Delaware? Hey, but you know what? God bless. She signed up. She deserves to be up there to prove that this can be done easily.
Yeah. Cut 15 from Mr. Stewart.
It took her 7 hours on the phone and online. Eventually, she had to go through and clean out all the cookies from her cache, and then she was able to sign up. But she did sign up from the small state of Delaware.
She had to move. She had to move, and she is no longer married, but it is done. She did. She is done. She had to move. She had to do a giant tattoo of a spider on her neck, but it's done. She has it. It's done. Yes, it turns out even the photo op to address the poorly planned rollout of Obamacare suffered from a clear lack of planning, as evidenced by the decision, perhaps unwise in hindsight, to place the pregnant woman with diabetes in the sun next to the president.
It's okay, though, because he's Doc Obama. He knew what to do immediately. What to do immediately. When he heard diabetes, naturally, as a doctor, his first thought was to amputate something. As Barack Obama once famously said, doctors would rather do to get the money for the amputation as opposed to treating the diabetes. But thankfully, no amputation occurred. Here's the final cut from Jon Stewart, cut 16.
But fear not. Help is on the way.
We've had some of the best IT talent in the entire country join the team, and we're well into a tech surge to fix the problem.
A surge? Your website is so we have to use the same strategy we used to salvage the Iraq War?
A surge. Who was it? Was it Jay Leno yesterday who said it's easier to sign up to become a member of Al-Qaeda on their website than it is to do this? You know, and Kathleen Sebelius, we'll get to her stuff a little bit later on in the next hour. She was asked, you know, why, if this wasn't ready, why didn't you delay it? She actually said, like I told Michael Barone, she said that ideally we needed 5 years to roll it out. That's what, instead of saying, hey, we screwed up, this is bad. You know, nobody should need, you open a business, you could get a website up in 3 months. You know, instead she said, well, ideally we would have liked 5 years. 5 years to set up a website? Anyway, now I forget what she was asked about, where I was going with this. And who cares? It's just insane. Just insane. But Kathleen Sebelius did say, oh, no, I'm not signing up. I already have health insurance. See, that's the problem. Sebelius and Barack Obama and every member of Congress and every government employee should be made to have this beauty of a plan if they're sticking everyone else with it. But no, they're, la-di-da. Okay, do you know what today is? Well, not today, but it was October 21st, 1983, when the parents of Lieutenant William Scott Summeroff received a letter from the 25-year-old Marine serving in Beirut who wrote of his excitement to be returning home soon and who had already begun his Christmas shopping. 2 days later, it was today. 2 days later, October 23rd, 1983, Summeroff and 240 other U.S. military personnel were killed when suicide bombers detonated 2 trucks of explosives at the military barracks in Lebanon in the first major terrorist attack against the U.S. And it was the deadliest day for the U.S. Marine Corps, or as Barack Obama might call them, the U.S. Marine Corps, since the Battle of Iwo Jima in World War II, and produced the highest death toll for the U.S. military since the first day of the Tet Offensive in the Vietnam War. And for the families of those killed, 3 decades and many more terror attacks have not diminished the memory of the soldiers and sailors who paid the ultimate price in the savage bombing that ushered in an age of terror. And at 6:22 a.m., it was a 19-ton yellow Mercedes-Benz stake bed truck made its way towards the Beirut International Airport, where the U.S. 24th Marine Amphibious Unit was deployed. The driver, an Iranian national, and the current president of Iran, Barack Obama's new buddy, he said with some gravitas, had a hand in this, many people believe, because he ran a department of intelligence within Iran at that time, and many believe that he knew about this, that he has the blood of these Americans on his hands, the same hand that Barack Obama was dying to shake at the United Nations, but was turned down by the great president of the great Islamic Republic of Iran. Could I make this up? No, you can't make this up. Anyway, so we remember 30 years ago, that horrific, horrific day. Barack Obama doesn't remember. Either that or Barack Obama doesn't care, or, dare I say, both. Both. On the Steve Malzberg Show, we're coming back. Don't miss the next hour right here. 877 Newsmax, Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio. Don't go away.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
Do you suffer from joint discomfort? Contrary to what the experts may say, achy joints do not have to be a normal part of aging. Holistic doctor David Brownstein challenged conventional thinking to focus on natural solutions for joint health. As a result, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Limbex, the premium nutritional supplement specifically formulated to support healthy joints and connective tissue. It's a new joint breakthrough formula containing 11 hand-picked nutrients. Learn more at limbexjoint.com/special Special and take the 30-day Healthy Joint Challenge. That's a 30-day supply of the Limbex Joint Supplement. All you pay is a $4.95 shipping fee. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Happy, Healthy Joints at Any Age. You can do something about joint discomfort and flexibility. Learn how you can try it for 30 days at limbexjoint.com/special. That's LIMBEX joint.com/special. limbexjoint.com/special.
Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Now update. I'm Kathleen Walter. President Obama hosting Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif at the White House today. The president will attempt to soothe the tough relationship between the two nations. Tensions between the two allies have been strained in recent years over U.S. drone strikes in Pakistan aimed at al-Qaeda operatives. Several civilians have died in the strikes, angering many Pakistanis. White House Press Secretary Jay Carney defends the strikes.
U.S. counterterrorism operations are precise, they are lawful, and they are effective. And the United States does not take lethal strikes when we or our partners have the ability to capture individual terrorists. Our preference is always to detain, interrogate, and prosecute.
Amnesty International is calling on the U.S. to investigate the civilian casualties. President Obama has named a trusted economic advisor to lead the team that will work on improving the website for the Affordable Care Act. Jeffrey Zients had been the acting director of the Office of Management and Budget, and in January will lead the National Economic Council. His task now is to improve the flawed website designed to help Americans sign up for health insurance.
What happened? Right? Why did you spend almost $1 billion on a system that does not work?
Meantime, Health and Human Services officials will brief Congress today on the problems with the website. And Newsmax is following a developing story out of Danvers, Massachusetts, where a 14-year-old is in custody after the body of a teacher was found in the woods behind a school. All 7 schools in that town were closed today. Authorities say the Nevada middle schooler who killed a teacher and injured 2 students before shooting himself was just 12 years old. The 7th grader brought a 9mm semi-automatic handgun from home. Police say his parents could face charges. The victim's brother is speaking out.
It's so surreal. I still can't fathom what happened. Cherish every chance you get, because you don't know when the last one will be.
The teacher, 45-year-old former Marine Michael Malzberg, was shot in the chest while trying to stop the boy. Security in Boston tonight for Game 1 of the 2013 MLB World Series will be tight. That's according to officials as the city prepares to host its first major event since the Boston Marathon bombings back in April. Police are asking folks to leave backpacks at home, even though they're technically not prohibited at Fenway Park. The Red Sox will host the St. Louis Cardinals tonight beginning at 8:07 Eastern Standard Time. And coming up, a member of the media turns the tables on one of his own. Piers Morgan joins Newsmax and he lambastes the press. Find out why. Then it's Pumpkin Palooza, how an Ohio artist is turning gourds, big and small, into incredible pieces of jack-o'-lantern art.
In 2013, half of your friends, family, and neighbors may lose their jobs, all while you are robbed of 90% of your life savings, investments, and home's value. Controversial economist Robert Wiedemer, who was the only expert to predict the recession, has released a startling video with shocking evidence that the powers that be have tried to ban. But that hasn't stopped 50 million people from getting the truth. Watch it at aftbook.com. That's aftbook.com.
What is Lignet? Lignet is knowledge. Lignet is power. Lignet is global. Top-level officials, U.S. intelligence officers, national security advisors, foreign operatives, all reporting directly to you. What is Lignet? Lignet is confidential. Lignet is sensitive. Lignet is security. What is Lignet? They're the ones taking the world's pulse. If you're not in the know, you're not on lignet.com. You've been briefed.
Here's today's silver shortage update from Lear Capital.
Reports keep coming, the shortage is growing. Twice already this year, the U.S. Mint has run out. Last time this happened, the silver price jumped 40%. It's time to take advantage with this special offer from Lear Capital.
For a limited time, buy 20 new silver polar bear coins and get one free. The only 1.5-ounce coin on the market. It's minted with the finest silver, carries a government guarantee, and is eligible for IRAs. The Silver Polar Bear is available exclusively from Lear Capital. But don't wait. Silver supplies are shrinking and availability is not guaranteed. This offer is limited to a minimum purchase of $5,000. Call right now. 800-634-0482. 800-634-0482. Call Lear Capital now. 800-634-0482.
And welcome back. In a Newsmax exclusive, the host of Piers Morgan Live blasted the mainstream media for its coverage of President Obama.
There are many things that the president, I think, could be doing more to achieve as president. She wants to. I'm sure he feels frustrated. The media's job is to keep on his case and make sure that the American people are best served.
And you've heard of Linus's Great Pumpkin? Well, this time of year, Deanne Arnold has tons of great pumpkins. Utilizing a potato peeler, the Ohio artist sculpts images and faces into pumpkins and gourds to create these fascinating works of art. One piece takes him 5 to 8 hours. And if you watch him work, you can see why. His pumpkins start fascinating works of art. One piece takes him 5 to 8 hours. And if you watch him work, you can see why. His pumpkins start in size. For more exclusive interviews and content, stay with Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter, and this has been your Newsmax Now update for October 23rd. Take care.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Broadcasting live from the Newsmax studios, this is the Steve Malzberg Show. Be a part of the action by calling toll-free 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Or email Steve at malzbergshow@newsmax.com. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Steve Malzberg Show. Wednesday edition. It's what they call Hump Day, I guess, although we don't have a camel walking around the studio that I could see anywhere. All right, I've been talking about, we talked about it with Marco Rubio, we talked about it with other guests in the previous hour, the CBS News report, which to me is a blockbuster. I mean, this report is huge, and I want you to watch this report and just understand, if you do get on the Obamacare website and you think you're getting a price, you're not getting a price. You're getting kind of an approximation, and it's just totally misleading. And this is not an accident. Believe me, it's not an accident. It can't be an accident. Let's go to cut number 30.
Administration announced it would provide a new shop and browse feature on Sunday, but it is not giving consumers the real picture. In some cases, people could end up paying nearly double what they see on the website.
The website has not worked as smoothly as it was supposed to.
As President Obama promises to fix healthcare.gov, his administration is touting what it calls improvements in design, specifically a feature that allows you to see plans now.
Americans across the country can type in their zip code and shop and browse.
But CBS News has learned the new shop and browse feature often comes with the wrong price tags.
Yeah, the wrong price tags, ladies and gentlemen. And that's Jan Crawford of CBS News reporting this morning on CBS This Morning. Here we continue with the next cut.
Incredibly misleading for people that are trying to get a sense of what they're paying.
Industry analysts like Jonathan Wu point to how the website lumps people only into two broad categories, 49 or under and 50 or older. Prices for everyone in the 49 or under group are based on what a 27-year-old would pay. In the 50 or older group, prices are based on what a 50-year-old would pay. We ran the numbers for a 48-year-old in Charlotte, North Carolina, ineligible for subsidies. According to healthcare.gov, she would pay $231 a month. But the actual plan on Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina's website costs $360, more than a 50% increase.
Yeah, that's nice. That's lovely. That's great. It tells you it's going to cost $231 a month. It's really going to cost $360 a month. Hey, Thank you, Dr. Obama. This is great stuff. Have you ever seen a level of incompetence? Have you ever seen a level of misleading the American public or just outright lying to them? My God, what is going on here? Oh, we're not finished. Oh, no. Next cut.
The difference? Blue Cross Blue Shield requests your birthday before providing more accurate estimates. The numbers for older Americans are even more striking. A 62-year-old in Charlotte looking for the same basic plan would get a price estimate on the government website of $394. The actual price is $634. An HHS spokeswoman said it added the shop and browse feature to provide estimates of premiums without tax credits.
Yeah, screw the old people. They're not going to be around that long anyway. You know, with the death panels and give them a pill and send them to a hospice, as Tom Daschle told me about an 80-year-old guy who needs a heart bypass. Yeah, so what if we tell them that it's going to cost a 62-year-old woman $394 when it's really going to cost $634 a month? Ha-ha! Joke's on you! Thank you, Dr. Obama. Thank you very much. My God, what have we become? That they could get away, that nobody's been fired over any of this. For crying out loud. This is almost impeachable. This guy stood up there on Monday and talked about a good product, saving money, this and that. It's a buy it, check it out, go do it. And it's all lies. It's the president of the United States. He's like a used car salesman. How about a lemon law for Obamacare? That's the first time I've ever heard that, and I just thought of it. But you'll hear it again, I'm sure. How about an Obama lemon law? Obamacare lemon law, like for a used car. But we could call it something else. Lemon, if it's a lemon, let's see. I don't know. But we'll think of something, because that's what we do here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Next cut.
Now, industry executives we talked to literally could not believe the government is providing these estimates, which they said were useless and could easily mislead consumers. They also say, Charlie and Nora, that the website repeatedly states the actual prices could be lower, but it makes no mention they could be higher.
There's the other okey doke. There's the other bamboozle of Barack Obama. So they give you these phony prices, and they tell you about the phony prices that they could be lower, but they never tell you they could be higher, when, of course, they're higher in many, many, many instances. I don't even know what to say. I think in the past two shows I've been rendered, maybe for the first time in my broadcast career, speechless. Not really. Almost. As close as I've ever come. I don't think I could be rendered speechless under normal conditions. But what is there left to say about this? What's the next thing they're going to tell me? That they want to put white doctors with white patients and black doctors with black patients? Oh, yeah, they do want to do that. We'll talk about that in the next segment. But, folks, this is just insanity. How are they getting away with this? How are they getting away with this? The incompetence of the uselessness of the website is one thing, but the president brushed that aside the other day. Oh, it's not just more than a website. You know, do it on the phone, do it here, do it there, and then it turns out that the prices you get quoted are false. If you're a 27-year-old male or a 49-year-old male, maybe they're accurate, but otherwise, not so much. Not so much. And for Kathleen Sebelius, when asked by Sanjay Gupta, how could this happen? You had 3 years? And she says we needed 5? You needed 5 years? Wow. And by the way, folks, these are the people who are also telling Blue Shield, Blue Cross of Nebraska, don't reveal how many people have signed up. Insurance companies all over the country, tens of thousands at a time, 300,000 in Florida alone. Individuals are losing their policies. All this is happening. And these are the people who are going to provide your health care. are going to make decisions about your health care, are going to run your health care, are going to take your personal information and keep it secret. Do you understand what's going on here? All right. We're coming back. Steve Malzberg Show.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or prediabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
Men, this is the time in your life when you have more freedom to travel, more time for leisure, including an active lifestyle, even renewed intimacy. The last thing you want is the hassle of an aging prostate. Frequent trips to the bathroom also keep you awake at night. But here's good news. Renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein believes that prostate concerns do not have to be an inevitable part of aging. As a result, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Prostate Revive, the dietary supplement specifically formulated to help improve and sustain normal prostate function. Learn more about how you can receive a 30-day supply of Prostate Revive. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit prostaterevive.com/special for complete details. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Prostate. While supplies last, try Prostate Revive for 30 days at prostaterevive.com/special. That's prostaterevive.com/special.
This is the worst weather we've seen in quite some time, folks, and I don't see any end in sight. People have been calling in from across the state complaining their basements are flooding. One guy said he now has an indoor swimming pool in his basement. I told him he needs the waterproofing innovations from Basement Systems. If you want a dry basement or crawl space that will weather any kind of storm, you need the patented solutions from Basement Systems. You've seen them on home makeover shows throughout the country. With a lifetime warranty, every solution is custom designed for your basement. You can finally have that room you've always wanted with our total basement finishing system. Call now for a free estimate, and you'll never have to worry about storms like these again.
Call now for your free basement inspection at 800-516-9794, 800-516-9794. Learn how to waterproof your basement now. Call this number, 800-516-9794, 800-516-9794.
Wow, you look great. Thanks. I've lost some weight. What's your secret weapon? Actually, I do in fact have one. Really?
If you're looking for help in your weight loss efforts, remember this name, Metabio. It just may be the edge you've been looking for. Metabio is the nutritional weight loss breakthrough power-packed with 5 high-quality ingredients. Metabio supports healthy metabolism and promotes fat loss. It helps maintain your optimal weight and wellness when used as part of a healthy lifestyle. Now you can receive a 30-day supply of Metabio. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit themetabio.com/offer for complete details. Act now and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Practical Guide to Healthy Weight Management. Learn how you can try Metabio for 30 days at themetabio.com/offer. That's the METABIO.com/offer. Hurry, only while supplies last at themetabio.com/offer.
Breaking news and breaking hearts. Aww. This is the Steve Malzberg Show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we have discussed on this show, if you like your doctor, you could keep your doctor, right? That would be the case, maybe, not likely, but possibly, only if you're of the same race as your doctor. What are you talking about? Well, there's a great piece by Katie McHugh, editor of the Daily Caller. She will be with us momentarily. And there is a piece in the Affordable Care Act that says research suggests that healthcare providers' diagnostic and treatment decisions, as well as their feelings about patients, are influenced by patients' race, ethnicity. Several studies have shown that racial concordance is substantially and positively related to patient satisfaction. In other words, what they're saying in the Affordable Care Act is that doctors are racist. That's what I get out of it. And they're going to leave open the possibility that they're going to implement changes to, I guess, do something about those evil, and I'm sure it's the white doctors that are evil. I'm sure the foreign doctors or, from wherever they're from, or African-American doctors or Hispanic doctors, they have equal feelings and empathy and sympathy for all. But I'm sure it's the overwhelming majority of white doctors that are the bigots that they're going to try to rectify this situation. And that is very, very, very disturbing. And there's a whole affirmative action program set up with taxpayer dollars going to it. So as soon as I get the thumbs up and we can welcome in Katie, we will do so. But I don't have the thumbs up yet. I do not have the thumbs up yet. But I promise you, folks, this will be well worth the wait because, okay, now we could do it. Let's say hello to Katie McHugh, the Daily Caller, editor of the Daily Caller. Hey, Katie, how are you? Care Act, with everything that's going on and everything. The portion that I read on the air, the report from the Center for American Progress, talking that's in it and everything we know about. This is actually shocking, believe it or not.
Yeah. It's shocking because it's coming from the same people who try to trumpet social justice all the time.
Yeah, so I guess they're saying here, the portion that I read on the air, the report from the Center for American Progress, talking about their research. I guess what they're saying basically is white doctors are racist. They give better care to white people, and they don't have the empathy or the sympathy or the patience, different kind of patience, for patients of a different race. And we got to try to remedy that.
Yeah, and actually, what their presuppositions are even worse because they blame disparities in healthcare, which are a concern, and we can remedy them. They're blaming it on white racism, and they're saying that for some reason that white Americans are actively denying minorities healthcare in order to harm them. That's an extraordinary claim.
Well, it fits right in, though, Katie, with to a certain extent, with Obama claiming on separate occasions that a doctor would rather cut off the diabetic's leg than treat the diabetes for money, and they rather take the kid's tonsils out than cure the sore throat for money. So, it fits right in with the worldview of doctors in the Obama administration.
I'd forgotten about those comments, and now it makes sense. It's disturbing that there was actually a racial context behind his comments.
Absolutely.
Especially because he's supposed to be Mr. Post-racial president.
Yeah, right. All right, so what does this all mean in practical terms? I mean, what's going on here? You talk about the taxpayer dollars into an affirmative action, candidates whose judgment will lead to the life or death decisions. What's that all about?
Well, that means that the bill, the healthcare bill itself, I have to wonder, I don't think anyone's actually read this thing because they demand that colleges actively recruit minorities. They'll forgive their loans, they'll give them scholarships, and then they want to send them to underserved areas like other minority communities to be their doctors. And it is I guess you can see a concern. It's okay, we don't have as many African-American doctors as, white doctors. But that's not necessarily blame for racism. If you look at the African-American illegitimacy rate, it's over 70%. You can't raise good children in a household where you don't have a stable mother and father. So I think the problems are cultural, and this bill does nothing to remedy that. It only seeks to divide us further.
Yeah, so the other disturbing part here, because this is all very disturbing, but maybe even the most outrageous part, and their remedy for these racial accusations against white doctors is, as you said, the Obamacare report reads or the report reads, it provides scholarships and loan repayment support for individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds serving in the health profession. It grants funding for the Health Career Opportunity Program, which supports schools that recruit and train individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds to work in the health profession. Bill also establishes a grant program to promote healthcare professionals' cultural and linguistic competence. So now they're looking for healthcare professionals and doctors to be from disadvantaged areas and minorities, and those students will get will get advantages, having their loans forgiven and financial help to become doctors and join the medical profession, where white people won't. How is that even legal?
And it's racial socialism. It's alarming. It's disturbing.
Would that? I mean, I don't know if that ever came to fruition and it was found to be unconstitutional. Would that knock out the whole bill, or would that just knock out the provision? I don't even know, legally speaking, how that would work.
I don't know, because I wonder if they could put it under, this violates the 14th Amendment, since everything violates the 14th Amendment.
Right.
The Equal Protection Clause, is just like the slapping on the Band-Aid, But yeah, I don't know where this is going. I think that this certainly deserves more attention.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, was this linked on Drudge or not, or did I find this just on your website? I don't remember.
Oh no, it's just on Daily Caller.
Yeah, okay, because this has got to be out there, because this is just total insanity. I mean, this.
Yes.
This is the administration and whoever wrote this stupid bill basically saying, doctors are racist, and blacks can't get good care, and Hispanics can't get good care from white doctors, and we need more of the minorities in the field. We'll give them their schooling basically for free or at a severe discount, and screw whites. And I mean, that's basically how I interpret that. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. There's significant racism against whites built into this bill, coming from whites. That's what's bizarre. I really don't understand why we have to make a big deal out of racial issues. I don't understand, I guess I'm being utopian now. Well, you can't just acknowledge that there are differences and yet live in harmony. And, of course, this administration, you have the government actively seeking to bean count Americans and divide them up based on the color of their skin. It's extraordinary.
What's the reaction been since you've written, since this has appeared at the Daily Caller?
Outrage. People can't believe it. No one likes to subsidize, what's extraordinary too, the outrage is coming too from, if you don't participate in this insane system that's biased against whites, you still have to pay a penalty. There's no escape from this. Your tax dollars go towards this, and you have to pay an extra penalty on top of that. It's terrible.
It is crazy. So Nancy Pelosi was right about one thing. You have to read the bill and pass the bill, rather, before you know what's in it. All right, listen, Katie, keep up the great work. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
Take care. Katie McHugh, ladies and gentlemen, editor of the Daily Caller. If this doesn't scare the living daylights out of you, then I don't know what will. It's social engineering at its most dangerous, and you're paying for it, and I'm paying for it. And if we don't like it, we could pay a fine or leave the country, I guess. Wow. All right, we're coming back. David French joins us, folks, on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Attention seniors and baby boomers. A new website has been created just for you. SocialSecurity311.com. At SocialSecurity311.com, we reveal a weird trick that could help you add $152,000 to your Social Security payouts. For example, did you know how you file for Social Security can dramatically change the amount of money you collect? One simple step could add up to $1,000 to your monthly payouts. And other loopholes we found reveal 33 ways for big savings on your health care. At SocialSecurity311.com, you will also discover how you could save up to 50% on your groceries, along with 49 other ways to save as much as $50,000 starting today. Newsmax says this website is a critical resource for anyone over the age of 50. So go to SocialSecurity311.com now to find out how you could add extra money to your Social Security checks. That's SocialSecurity311.com. SocialSecurity311.com.
If you're a man over 40, your prostate could be forcing you to urinate frequently, even disrupting your sleep multiple times each night. You're not alone. Over half of men over 40 experience age-related prostate concerns. Fortunately, prominent medical doctor David Brownstein believes that aging prostate concerns are not inevitable. That's why Dr. Brownstein developed Prostate Revive, an advanced dietary supplement containing a unique blend of 15 ingredients designed to promote optimal prostate health. So men, as part of this new radio promotion, you now have the opportunity to claim your own 30-day supply of Prostate Revive, containing saw palmetto, beta-cytosterol, and numerous to claim your own 30-day supply of Prostate Revive, containing saw palmetto, beta-cytosterol, and numerous guide to a healthy prostate as a bonus gift. Please visit prostaterevive.com/radio for details on getting your 30-day supply of Prostate Revive and free report. That's prostaterevive.com/radio. Do something about those annoying age-related prostate concerns. Visit prostaterevive.com/radio now while supplies last.
Have you hit a brick wall with your weight loss? Does your weight management plan need an extra edge for success? Have you hit a brick wall with your weight loss? Does your weight management plan need an extra edge for success? Your goal weight as part of your diet and exercise program. Metabio is the premium nutritional supplement, power-packed with 5 high-quality ingredients. When used as part of a healthy lifestyle, each component is formulated to help you reach your goals and maintain your optimal weight and wellness. It supports healthy metabolism and promotes fat loss. Now, learn how you can try a 30-day supply of Metabio. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit themetabio.com/special. Act now and also receive instant access to our downloadable special report, a practical guide to healthy weight management. Try it now at themetabio.com/special. That's the metabio.com/special. While supplies last. themetabio.com/special.
Attention hip implant patients. Are you in constant pain? Have you received a letter from your doctor about your implant? Have you had or need a revision surgery? Do you have high levels of metal, chromium, or cobalt in your blood? Over 90,000 hip implant devices have been recalled due to defects and failures resulting in revision or replacement surgery. If you have a recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-460-0920 to see if your implant is affected by the recalls. If you or a loved one has a defective or recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-460-0920. That's 800-460-0920. Protect your legal rights today. Call 800-460-0920. This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
This is not your typical Screamfest talk show.
No.
This is the next generation of talk radio. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. What a busy day! And how do you keep your focus? How do you keep your focus if you're an American citizen? If you do my job, how do you keep everything in fore that needs to be kept in the fore? Because every day it's something else. Now, this healthcare fiasco is a fiasco. Many of us knew it would be, so we're not surprised. But what about the IRS scandal? What about Benghazi? The McLaughlin Group did not the McLaughlin Group, I shouldn't say, but John McLaughlin and Associates did a survey, a poll, and 75% of Americans want answers about Benghazi. And that's not going to go away. I hope it doesn't go away. And I know the IRS scandal's not going away because we have people out there like the American Center for Law and Justice. And joining us right now from that fine organization, the ACLJ, is David French, Senior Counsel. Hey, David, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good to talk to you. All right, so let's talk about there's a piece by Jay Sekulow, who, of course, is very prominent in your organization. He wrote a piece at FoxNews.com about proof of Obama's fingerprints being all over the IRS Tea Party scandal. And as I said earlier, as we were getting you on the phone, this is something we should not let just be overlooked and fade away.
Oh, absolutely. And Jay's exactly right. I mean, if you look, and our new complaint that we have filed, which is an expansion of our lawsuit that we'd already filed on behalf of 41 Tea Party groups in 22 states, what this new lawsuit does is it traces out the political origins of this scandal. And one thing that is fascinating is if you look at the president's public statements, where he called citizens groups like these Tea Party groups threats to democracy, where he hinted that they were run by shadowy political operatives, where he even went on to say that these kinds of groups might have foreign money in them. I mean, we're talking about Tea Party groups in Alabama, like they have foreign money in them. Unbelievable statements. And then you follow what the IRS actually did. What the IRS did is it then began to ask questions of these Tea Party groups that were designed to answer the very questions that the President of the United States was asking. Who's running you? Are there any political operatives behind you? Who's funding you? All of these kinds of questions, in particular the donor lists and the lists in the references to associations you might have, such as what are your family members doing? What kind of in the references to associations you might have, such as what are your family members doing? What kind of directly followed the president's public statements.
So the timing is there. I mean, there's a sequence that which shows the link, if you will.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, the president made these statements during the run-up to the 2010 election season, and that is when the persecution really began to kick into a different level. That's when the entire issue was elevated. It's around that time, before that time, but at that time it was definitely elevated to Washington, and in Washington, from the chief counsel's office to Lois Lerner and others were controlling this matter. And that's when you began to see these rounds of very intense questions emerging in 2011, in 2012, following these presidential statements. Now, do we have evidence that President Obama got on some email to Lois Lerner and said, "Ask these questions"? No, we don't have that. But the president's involvement is hiding in plain sight. It's his public statements vilifying these organizations and identifying exactly the questions he wanted answers to.
So, David, how did you modify your complaint?
Well, we did it a couple of things. Number one, we expanded the number of defendants. As we have been investigating this, as Congress has been investigating, as the media has been investigating, we realized this wasn't a scandal that was where just a few people were involved. This was a broad-based scandal in senior leadership in the IRS. So we're adding people like Sarah Hall Ingram, like IRS counsel, as to the lawsuit as the evidence emerges. And the other thing that we're doing is we're realizing that there is an important element here of public education that's necessary. It's not just enough to state the basic facts of viewpoint discrimination and other kinds of unconstitutional actions. We need to tell a narrative. We need to tell the story that contains the evidence that has been uncovered thus far. And I say thus far because we haven't even had discovery yet. But as you know, every week or every couple of weeks, there's a new piece of this puzzle that emerges. And in this complaint, we're putting all those pieces together.
And what is the timetable, for instance, for discovery? Walk some of us through the the process of when what's next and the timetable for it.
Well, here's where I use my old lawyer's joke that the great thing about America is that everyone gets their decade in court.
Yeah.
No, we're trying to move this as quickly as possible. As of right now, after we filed this newest lawsuit, newest amendment to the lawsuit, the government has 60 days to respond, which is a standard amount of a response. When they do, that's going to really take the battle here to another level because we expect that the government will try to dismiss this lawsuit. And at that point, we're going to have a round of legal argumentation as to whether any or all of the claims will be dismissed, because the government's probably going to come after this lawsuit with both barrels. The last thing they want is for Jay Sekulow or me or other senior attorneys at ACLJ to put these senior White House officials under oath in depositions, especially when there's, at least in theory, an FBI investigation circling around in the background. So there's a lot of risk here for the IRS. We expect them to try to go after the lawsuit with both barrels, and sometime after the new year, we'll get a real picture as to the start date for discovery.
We're talking to David French, Senior Counsel at the ACLJ, the American Center for Law and Justice, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Jay makes a great point in that piece that I was talking about earlier, where he said, imagine if this was President Bush, singling out in speeches left-wing groups, and then subsequently the IRS did what they have done to the right-wing groups here, so-called. I mean, the outrage would have been certainly significant.
Oh, I mean, we're well past the point where the entire left wing of the political spectrum would have been calling for President Bush's impeachment if the facts were just half as bad as they are for this one. I mean, you have the president announcing and targeting specific groups, alleging foreign influence. I mean, that sounds McCarthyite, doesn't it? I mean, it sounds... It doesn't just sound McCarthyite. It's straight from that kind of playbook.
Yeah, but you and I know only Ted Cruz is McCarthy, and he looks just like him, and he's the most hated man in America. So it must be Ted Cruz's fault if it is McCarthy.
Well, everything's Ted Cruz's fault, right?
Yes,
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, it really. At some point, you almost get tired of pointing out the double standards, but we can't get tired of pointing out the double standards. We have to continually say, this is the truth. This is the reality of the political world that we live in, and we have to shame the mainstream media into doing its job.
Well, good luck with that, because I don't know that's even possible. But nonetheless, keep up the good fight. Give my regards to the two Secular brothers, and we'll speak to you again as this progresses, David.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
Take care. David French, ladies and gentlemen. And it is. I mean, listen to the remarks. Listen to the remarks from the great uniter, the post-racial president. There is no red. There is no blue. We're all purple. Yes, that guy. Let's go to August 9th of 2010. The president warned of attack ads run by shadowy groups with harmless-sounding names. He did that during his weekly radio address. He said, "We don't know who's behind these ads, and we don't know who's paying for them. You don't know if it's a foreign-controlled corporation. Only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide." Sounds pretty nefarious. Okay, September 16th, 2010. He didn't wait barely a month. President Obama once again warning that some unidentified foreign-controlled entity could be providing millions of dollars for attack ads. Less than 1 week after that, he said nobody knows the identities of the individuals who support conservative groups. No, they're all from foreign countries. Maybe like a bunch of your campaign donations, Mr. President? Let's see. On September 22nd, President Obama warned of groups opposing his policies, posing, mind you, as not-for-profit social and welfare trade groups. And he claimed such groups were guided by seasoned Republican political operatives and potentially supported by, you ready, some unidentified foreign-controlled entity. How is this any different? How is this any different from questioning or from wanting to know, to wanting to see Barack Obama's birth certificate? Or from insinuating that Barack Obama wasn't born here? Or from insinuating that there were foreign campaign sources or foreign forces, period, that helped make Barack Obama who he is? How is it any different than saying, I want to see your college records. I want to see your passport records. Did you travel to Pakistan when American citizens were banned from going there? How is this any different? He keeps accusing legitimate conservative groups, opposition groups, if you will, to his policies as having this nefarious foreign influence to it. How is that any different? As a matter of fact, it's worse. You have every right to see a president's travel records, student aid records, college records. But this doesn't stop. Then we go to October 14th. President Obama called organizations with benign-sounding names a problem for democracy. Yeah, problem for democracy. The next week, he complained about individuals who hide behind those front groups. He called such groups a threat to our democracy and claimed such groups were engaged in unsupervised spending. The great uniter, ladies and gentlemen, the great uniter, reminds me of Percy Sutton, former borough president of the borough where I am sitting right now, Manhattan. Very prominent African-American businessman, very successful. And I guess a year or so before he passed away, he was on a cable station here, New York One. And Dominic Carter was doing an interview with him. I could pull this out for tomorrow. Maybe I will. And Dominic Carter says, what do you think about Barack Obama? This is back right after the election of Obama, if I have my dates straight. Right after the first election. And, Percy Sutton said, I recall getting a letter from the assistant to a prince of Saudi Arabia, and I got his name too. I just don't remember it. Okay, the assistant to the prince of Saudi Arabia. And what did that letter to Percy Sutton want? It told him about a young man named Barack Obama. And it asked Percy Sutton if you could write a letter, Percy Sutton, to help get this brilliant young man into Harvard. Now, how would the prince of Saudi Arabia come to the aid of a kid named Barack Obama to try to get him into Harvard by soliciting a letter of recommendation from the borough president of Manhattan, or at that time he might not have been, but a prominent African-American business leader in Manhattan who had connections to Harvard? How did he come to have a Saudi interest in him? You racist, you can't ask that question. You bigot, can't stand a black man in the White House. You see, if I asked that legitimate question, by the way, the Obama people responded at the time, come here, psst, psst, I'll tell you what it is. You see, Percy Sutton's old. He must be mistaken. He must be confusing the letter he got from the Prince of Saudi Arabia, via an advisor. It probably didn't ask for help for Barack Obama. It was probably somebody else. He's old. He doesn't know what he's talking about, okay? So just ignore it. And, of course, the media did. Nobody ever brought that up. And God forbid John McCain would have brought it up. He probably didn't even know about it. Meanwhile, I was on WOR playing that tape every day, saying, what the heck is going on here? So my point in bringing that up, my point in saying, where are your college records, Mr. President? My point in saying, where are the foreign donations you got to your campaigns, Mr. President? Why would the Saudis be interested in getting you into Harvard way back then, Mr. President? I have a right to ask that as an American citizen, first of all, but a double right to ask that based on the false and phony accusations and insinuations you make towards Tea Party groups and conservative groups. Ooh, they're a threat to democracy, he calls them. They're foreign influence, foreign money. Who are they? Well, who are you? With respect to the questions I've asked. That's what Americans should ask. That's what a media should ask. That's what a presidential candidate running against you should ask. And especially when you have a record of making these kinds of accusations against innocent groups that oppose your socialism. Boy, I'm out of line, huh? Ooh, I am out of line. Hey, Media Matters. Nah, 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 nah. On the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. Folks ask me, what would Ronald Reagan do if he were with us today? I believe the first thing he'd do is stop Obamacare. Already it's in effect, with higher taxes, hidden fees, skyrocketing insurance rates, big Medicare cuts. And some insurance plans are hit with a 40% tax. Protect yourself by getting the Obamacare Survival Guide. It's already a #1 New York Times bestseller. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law, giving you the strategies, tips, and loopholes you need to know. If you're insured on Medicare, a business owner, a medical professional, just about anyone, you need this book.
Get the #1 bestseller, The Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare311.com Obamacare, 311.com. That's Obamacare, 311.com.
Do you suffer from joint discomfort? Contrary to what the experts may say, achy joints do not have to be a normal part of aging. Holistic doctor David Brownstein challenged conventional thinking to focus on natural solutions for joint health. As a result, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Limbex, the premium nutritional supplement specifically formulated to support healthy joints and connective tissue. It's a new joint breakthrough formula containing 11 hand-picked nutrients. Learn more at limbexjoint.com/special and take the 30-day Healthy Joint Challenge. That's a 30-day supply of the Limbex Joint Supplement. All you pay is a $4.95 shipping fee. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Happy, Healthy Joints at Any Age. You can do something about joint discomfort and flexibility. Learn how you can try it for 30 days at limbexjoint.com/special. That's LIMBEX joint.com/special. limbexjoint.com/special.
150 million people suffer from headaches. All you want is for the pounding in your head to stop. Migralex stops the pounding. Migralex was developed by a neurologist and founder of the New York Headache Center.
I'm neurologist Dr. Alex Malzberg. After studying and researching the human brain for 25 years, I've developed Migralex, which eliminates pounding headaches. It works for my patients, and I'm so convinced it will work for you. I don't just guarantee it, I put my name on it.
Dr. Malzberg's Migralex gets rid of headaches fast without harsh caffeine, sodium, or preservatives.
Migralex works unbelievably fast, and it's gentle on my stomach.
Find out how to get your free bottle of Migralex. Call 800-532-2967. Plus, if you're one of the first 100 callers, you'll also receive the Migralex Quick Tips to Headache Relief absolutely free. That's 800-532-2967. Or go to migralexrelief.com. MIGRALEX relief.com. Or call 800-532-2967.
Here's today's silver shortage update from Lear Capital.
Reports keep coming, the shortage is growing. Twice already this year, the U.S. Mint has run out. Last time this happened, the silver price jumped 40%. It's time to take advantage with this special offer from Lear Capital.
For a limited time, buy 20 new silver polar bear coins and get one free. The only 1.5 ounce coin on the market. It's minted with the finest silver, carries a government guarantee, and is eligible for IRAs. The silver polar bear is available exclusively from Lear Capital. But don't wait. Silver supplies are shrinking and availability is not guaranteed. This offer is limited to a minimum purchase of $5,000. Call right now. 800-634-0482. 800-634-0482. Call Lear Capital now. 800-634-0482.
The Steve Malzberg Show is just a bit different from the other radio shows. We have TV cameras. Watch the show at Newsmax.com or listen on your favorite radio station. Here's Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have this breaking news according to Money Watch. And if I could read it to you. Yes, it says here the Obama administration may give Americans extra time to sign up for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act, postponing when penalties for failing to buy coverage will go into effect. MarketWatch says, that's basically the gist of the story. You know the whole deal. You know the deadlines. But they say because of the new policies take effect on the first day of each month, in order to be covered by March 31st, people would actually have to have insurance by March 1st. And since it takes up to 2 weeks to process, blah, 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 it says the administration, however, has recognized that there's a disconnect between the actual and effective deadlines as to the deadline to get health insurance and time to comply. So whatever excuse they're giving, it looks like there's a chance that the administration might actually, do part of the right thing. Of course, the right thing would be to take the so-called Affordable Care Act and do that with it. But you wouldn't hear that because it's like 19,000 pages. So you'd hear boom, a thump. Anyway, okay, so we'll keep you abreast of any further developments in that. That's just breaking from marketwatch.com. You want to hear a story? Very crazy, sad story. You remember when Joe Biden said he tells his wife that if anybody ever, comes on their property or that she thinks they're, might be breaking into the house, I think he said he tells his wife, get the shotgun and fire a couple of shots from the balcony. Remember that? And then somebody actually in Delaware actually did that and got I don't know if it was Delaware or not, but they actually got arrested because it's against the law to do it. Okay, well, this one I don't understand at all. In Virginia, Woodbridge, Virginia, a woman was arrested after she shot a handgun into the air to scare off a group of boys that were actually in the middle of attacking her daughter. She fired the gun into the air to scare off these attackers. She was protecting her daughter. And Lakeisha Gaither, 35, said she fired the single shot from her legally registered gun on Saturday night after a boy punched her daughter in the face during a dispute near their home. I just wanted this group of guys to disperse, she said. I don't know what they were going to do. I wanted him to stop hitting my child. The shooting occurred 9:20 p.m. After confronting a teenage girl and her mother in the neighborhood over a prior disagreement. She and her 15-year-old daughter began walking home. A group of about 10 boys approached them in the parking lot of their apartment complex. One boy began to swear and insult them, and another one hit the daughter. I stopped and turned to walk away in the middle of the parking lot. I made sure no one was around me. I unholstered my gun. I pointed it straight up in the air and fired just one shot to get him off my child. I didn't feel like I was wrong. Officers arrested her and charged her with reckless use of a weapon. Reckless use of a weapon. Prince William County Police spokesman, Officer Jonathan Perroque, said that Ms. Gaither should have called police instead of taking measures into her own hands. You can't fire into the air. Once something goes up, it comes down. There's a possibility of causing property damage, injuring someone, or killing someone in an apartment complex. The odds of that bullet coming down and striking something are very high. Okay, and I love the police, but folks, if this woman felt that her daughter and maybe even herself, but her daughter was undergoing physical harm, and there was further threat, and she's licensed to carry, what was she supposed? Would it be better if she had pulled out the gun and pointed it at the attackers and said, "Stop or I'll shoot"? And if they didn't, would she have a right to shoot then? Stop or I'll shoot. And if they didn't, would she have a right to shoot then to prevent further abuse? So I don't get this at all. All right, folks, what can I tell you? When we come back, Charlie Hurd, a good friend, Washington Times columnist, will join us to talk about everything that is crazy. So that means we'll never stop talking because everything is crazy on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized, they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
Do you have a motorized wheelchair or scooter that needs repairs and you don't know where to turn? Then call the experts at Precision Repair Network. They are the specialists in repairing all makes and models of motorized wheelchairs and scooters. You can call 24/7 and they will come to you anywhere in the United States. They'll give you a loaner to use until they return yours in perfect condition. And your repairs may be covered by your Medicare or your private insurance, so there is little or no out-of-pocket. And your repairs may be covered by your Medicare or your private insurance, so there is little or no out-of-pocket. Now you can get door-to-door service on your repairs at little or no cost to you. Precision Repair Network. They'll get you moving again. Operators are ready to take your call right now.
800-978-4813. 800-978-4813. 800-978-4813. That's 800-978-4813.
Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Now update. I'm Kathleen Walter. President Obama hosting Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif at the White House today. The president will attempt to soothe the tough relationship between the two nations. Tensions between the two allies have been strained in recent years over U.S. drone strikes in Pakistan aimed at al-Qaeda operatives. Several civilians have died in the strikes, angering many Pakistanis. White House Press Secretary Jay Carney defends the strikes.
U.S. counterterrorism operations are precise, they are lawful, and they are effective. And the United States does not take lethal strikes when we or our partners have the ability to capture individual terrorists. Our preference is always to detain, interrogate, and prosecute.
Amnesty International is calling on the U.S. to investigate the civilian casualties. President Obama has named a trusted economic advisor to lead the team that will work on improving the website for the Affordable Care Act. Jeffrey Zients had been the acting director of the Office of Management and Budget, and in January will lead the National Economic Council. His task now is to improve the flawed website designed to help Americans sign up for health insurance.
What happened? Right? Why did you spend almost $1 billion on a system that does not work?
Meantime, Health and Human Services officials will brief Congress today on the problems with the website. And Newsmax is following a developing story out of Danvers, Massachusetts, where a 14-year-old is in custody after the body of a teacher was found in the woods behind a school. All 7 schools in that town were closed today. Authorities say the Nevada middle schooler who killed a teacher and injured 2 students before shooting himself was just 12 years old. The 7th grader brought a 9mm semi-automatic handgun from home. Police say his parents could face charges. The victim's brother is speaking out.
It's so surreal. I still can't fathom what happened. Cherish every chance you get, because you don't know when the last one will be.
The teacher, 45-year-old former Marine Michael Malzberg, was shot in the chest while trying to stop the boy. Security in Boston tonight for Game 1 of the 2013 MLB World Series will be tight. That's according to officials as the city prepares to host its first major event since the Boston Marathon bombings back in April. Police are asking folks to leave backpacks at home, even though they're technically not prohibited at Fenway Park. The Red Sox will host the St. Louis Cardinals tonight beginning at 8:07 Eastern Standard Time. And coming up, a member of the media turns the tables on one of his own. Piers Morgan joins Newsmax and he lambastes the press. Find out why. Then it's Pumpkin Palooza, how an Ohio artist is turning gourds, big and small, into incredible pieces of jack-o'-lantern art.
Attention hip implant patients. Are you in constant pain? Have you received a letter from your doctor about your implant? Have you had or need a revision surgery? Do you have high levels of metal, chromium, or cobalt in your blood? Over 90,000 hip implant devices have been recalled due to defects and failures resulting in revision or replacement surgery. If you have a recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-460-0920 to see if your implant is affected by the recalls. If you or a loved one has a defective or recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-460-0920. That's 800-460-0920. Protect your legal rights today. Call 800-460-0920. This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
Wow, you look great. Thanks. I've lost some weight. What's your secret weapon? Actually, I do in fact have one. Really?
If you're looking for help in your weight loss efforts, remember this name, Metabio. It just may be the edge you've been looking for. Metabio is the nutritional weight loss breakthrough power-packed with 5 high-quality ingredients. Metabio supports healthy metabolism and promotes fat loss. It helps maintain your optimal weight and wellness when used as part of a healthy lifestyle. Now you can receive a 30-day supply of Metabio. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit themetabio.com/offer for complete details. Act now and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Practical Guide to Healthy Weight Management. Learn how you can try Metabio for 30 days at themetabio.com/offer. That's the metabio.com/offer. Hurry, only while supplies last at themetabio.com/offer.
And welcome back. In a Newsmax exclusive, the host of Piers Morgan Live blasted the mainstream media for its coverage of President Obama.
There are many things that the president, I think, could be doing more to achieve as president. I'm sure he wants to. I'm sure he feels frustrated. The media's job is to keep on his case and make sure that the American people are best served.
And you've heard of Linus's Great Pumpkin? Well, this time of year, Deanne Arnold has tons of great pumpkins. Utilizing a potato peeler, the Ohio artist sculpts images and faces into pumpkins and gourds to create these fascinating works of art. One piece takes him 5 to 8 hours, and if you watch him work, you can see why. His pumpkins start at $150 and go up in price based on the complexity and size. For more exclusive interviews and content, stay with Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter, and this has been your Newsmax Now update for October 23rd. Take care.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Broadcasting live from the Newsmax studios, this is the Steve Malzberg Show. Be a part of the action by calling toll-free 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Or email Steve at malzbergshow@newsmax.com. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, folks, welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Steve Malzberg Show. It's Wednesday again, and that means at this hour, it's time for our friend Charles Hurt, columnist for again. And that means at this hour, it's time for our friend Charles Hurt, columnist for...
Steve, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. And, you know, when I saw your column today, I said, boy, what a perfect... you hit it on the head. You thought of this, how that woman who stood behind, the pregnant woman with diabetes, stood behind Barack Obama on the podium the other day when he touted what a great product Obamacare was, and don't worry about these glitches, so to speak. It's still a great product. Go buy it, etc. And this woman, who never should have been there in the first place because of her condition and the sun and the heat, she almost passed out. And the title of your piece today at the Washington Times is "Ineptness of Obama Leaves America Staggering." And that's a perfect analogy between what happened and where we all are.
Yeah, she really did look like America standing back there. As her, you saw her, you know, and the run up to it was like a full minute where she started kind of getting wobbly, and her eyes started kind of rolling around, and she started looking around. She was clearly disoriented. It is exactly how I think we all feel right now as we wander into this disaster. But what's so amazing about it is, I mean, who into this disaster? But what's so amazing about it is, I mean, who could have ever guessed that it would have collapsed so spectacularly? But who could have ever guessed that it would have collapsed so spectacularly?
Fix these computer problems, whether it's in a month or a year. And now we're starting to hear MarketWatch.com, as I know you're aware of, now reports that the Obama administration may be willing to give Americans extra time to sign up. They're giving all kinds of excuses for it, but obviously it's impossible to sign up now almost, and you can't fine people for something not having something they can't get. And more Democrats are starting to say, let's postpone the the deadline to set up or to sign up. But the problems go so much deeper than the website. Every day, look, I see today 300,000 privately insured people in Florida alone are losing their insurance because the policies they have don't meet the requirements of the Obamacare. You got to have protection for baldness and pregnancy and all these things, and half the people don't need it. It is so insane. But my fear is I still don't know how to get rid of that. I don't know how to get rid of the whole thing.
Well, Steve, I think you're exactly right about this, and it's a danger for conservatives and for Republicans to focus too much on these glitches because, like you say, they will get fixed eventually. They'll bring in Mark Zuckerberg to come in and fix all of it, and then it will be really terrifying because then we'll actually be enrolled in Obamacare, and then that is where the certain demise of America will happen because, of course, because it's the federal government and the whole reason that healthcare prices are skyrocketing and have been for the past 20 years is because the federal government is already the single largest actor in the healthcare marketplace because of Medicaid, Medicare. They're the ones that drive prices in the healthcare sector, and that's why it's so insane. And the arrogance of this president to think, oh, well, the problem here is we don't have enough federal government involved in health care. Good grief. The arrogance of thinking that, well, we just need to get everybody's names and, we'll get everybody signed up on a website and then we'll just take care of all of it. It's total baloney, and it's going to be with us until we finally, some sane people get in charge and dismantle it and destroy it.
I guess, and we're talking to Charles Hurd of the Washington Times here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Kathleen Sebelius was interviewed yesterday, and what a disgrace she is. I mean, just based on that interview alone, she deserves to be fired. But when Sanjay Gupta, who, by the way, is I don't know if you saw Sanjay Gupta on 60 Minutes with Cheney. They're now insinuating that not insinuating. They're basically saying to Cheney, you had limited blood flow to the brain for all these years because of your heart conditions. You weren't at full capacity making all these decisions. Something was wrong with you. Were you depressed? Did you feel impeded? Did you feel? I mean, and he's like, no. I guess they should ask Obama how his brain is impacted by all his drug use as a kid. But that's never going to happen.
These people, they play by different rules.
Oh, it's unbelievable. But Sebelius actually said, Charles, I know you know this, that he said, what, you had 3 years to do it? She said, we needed 5. We needed 5 years.
We need 5 years to get this going. And what's really funny is, the truth is, they've had 8. We've given them, the American people gave them 8 years to do this, and it's still a total, complete disaster. But I think that, oddly enough, Sebelius is kind of protected in a way because she's so bad. It's almost like she's covered in a slime that protects her. And the reason is this, because for as long as the Obamacare thing stinks as badly as this does right now, then they're going to want somebody to take up, to soak up some of the toxic sludge that is just emanating all around this place. And they would rather it not be President Obama, and so they can just kind of, take her out there and kind of mop up some of the vitriol and let her soak it up. But the other thing is that even and she made this valiant effort to sort of be a team player and say, "Oh no, President Obama didn't know anything about any of this stuff. It was all our fault." And then you saw in the New York Times where she's got these people, her allies, or I suspect she was saying this off the record to the New York Times. I don't know that, but where they're saying, "Oh no, it's all the White House's fault. It's not Sebelius." So there's this behind the scenes nasty warfare going on. But President Obama is not ever going to get rid of her. And because the other reason why they're never going to get rid of her is because, can you imagine if the Senate were to conduct confirmation hearings for a replacement to Kathleen Sebelius? It would be a riot. I coverage, and it wouldn't. Whoever the nominee was, unless it was Ted Cruz, the entire thing would be Obamacare on trial, and it would be so daggum entertaining.
That is absolutely true. We're talking to Charles Hurd of the Washington Times on the Steve Malzberg Show. CBS had a report earlier this morning on their morning show, which spoke volumes, and it talked about how if you do get on the healthcare website, they have the shop and browse feature where you see what the policy might cost you. But the problem is they give you 2 age categories. You don't enter your age like other medical insurance websites. You put 50 or below 50. And if you choose below 50, they give you the typical price for a 27-year-old male, and that's your price that they give you, even though it's inaccurate. And if you're over 50 or 50 or over, they give you a 50-year-old price, and if you're 65, it turns out to be at least double that amount, but you don't know it. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore.
It's the federal government. That's the federal. What did Ronald Reagan say about the 10 most dangerous words in the English language? Where hi, I'm here from the federal government.
Right,
We're here to help you.
Right.
I mean, it's the only way. And the sad thing is, I think a lot of these people, and I think probably President Obama himself, really, they like the idea of this because they want to help people. They want to do good for people. Now, I think that they're naive and shallow, and they've never spent any time thinking about any of this, because the problem is it doesn't work. The reason that Americans are opposed to Obamacare isn't because we have some high-minded reason to go back to the Federalist Papers where we're opposed to socialized medicine. People are opposed to it because it doesn't work, and Americans are very practical, and when something doesn't work, they get upset, and there's no better example of that than the notion, the arrogant notion that the federal government can step in between you and your doctor, between you and your insurance company, between you and your the people that make healthcare decisions, and fix it all and make it all go away.
It is so scary. It is so scary. There was a piece. I'm sorry to interrupt. There was a piece at the. I know I kept it. Yes, the Daily Caller by Katie McHugh, and I just had Katie McHugh on a little while ago about how Obamacare is going to try to segregate patients by race. Because if you go back in it, there's a program that provides scholarships and loan repayment support for individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds serving in the healthcare profession. It gives funding for the Health Careers Opportunities Program, which supports schools that recruit and train individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds. Basically, it's based on this premise that was written about in an 2009 report by the Center for American Progress that says research suggests that healthcare providers' diagnostic and treatment decisions, as well as their feelings about patients, are influenced by patients' race or ethnicity. In other words, white doctors are racist. We need more minorities in the healthcare system. So we got this affirmative action program built into Obamacare that's going to forgive the student loans for any minorities who want to come into the program, and for colleges that educate them, their tuition will be supplemented. This is social engineering. It's probably against the law, but it's in the bill.
Yeah, and of course, I don't think they know it. In fact, I don't even think, as time goes on, I start to think that maybe even President Obama didn't actually read the thing before he signed it.
I think he wrote this provision, though. Doctors are now they're racist. Remember, he said that they would cut off a leg rather than treat diabetes and take out tonsils rather than treat a sore throat to get the money. So of course they're also racist.
Yeah, of course. And the other thing, the one good thing that good news out of it all that we've had this week was when upon learning that the entire Spanish language website has gone down.
Yep.
And when you go into it, but they're offering this thing in like 100
languages,
different languages.
Yeah.
I thought you were supposed to learn English when you became an American.
Oh, my God.
Am I confusing that?
Yeah, you are confusing. You must be xenophobic and racist, Charles. Come on.
Of course.
Now, listen, by the way, Dana Bash is reporting on her Twitter feed. This is a linked on Drudge that a senior Democratic source tells her every Senate Democrat running in 2004 is going to back Senator Shaheen's proposal to delay the enrollment deadline.
Wow. Yeah, that's and it's amazing that the White House didn't run out and embrace that idea a long time ago. But I think it goes to the heart of the fact that I think they're totally delusional, and they're street fighters, and they're playing, they're fighting from alley to alley, and this is not about policy. It's not about it's not about any of that at this point. It is all. This is not about policy. It's not about it's not about any of that. At this point, it is all.
A minute and a half. I want to ask you about Alan Grayson, his fundraising letter with the cross, like a KKK, and it said Tea Party after the T was lit with flames. Marco Rubio was on earlier, and he commented on that. He said that Grayson's been a disgrace for 6 years. He's been an embarrassment for 6 years. Of course, they're both from Florida, and that the mainstream media enables him. And he said, imagine if it was a Republican doing this. Your take on Grayson?
He's exactly right. You want to know who's racist here? It's not the doctors. It's the freaking media. The media is racist because he is. If you are a black politician, you get a free pass on pulling totally race baiting sort of stunts just like this. And I know. I mean, it's a lower standard that they have for civility and for accomplishment that you find in the media. And I might add the overwhelmingly white media that covers politics.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's disgraceful, and it hurts. I would argue that it hurts race relations, and it hurts the people that it gives that leg up to, because they do things like this and embarrass themselves.
Yeah. All right, Charles, I really thank you. Great time talking to you. We'll speak to you next week. Thanks.
Thanks, Steve.
Take care. Charles Hurt, ladies and gentlemen, Washington Times columnist, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Insanity reigns supreme. 877 Newsmax, 877-639-7629. 877 Newsmax, which is 877-639-7629. Love to hear from you. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or prediabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
Newsmax Magazine is proud to present a special tribute to our 40th president, Ronald Reagan. It's a very special documentary and commemorative issue of Newsmax Magazine celebrating the centennial of President Reagan's birth. First, here's a video clip from the award-winning documentary, Rendezvous with Destiny.
We're in the midst of a springtime of hope for America.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Impulses of an evil empire.
Tear down this wall.
I believe that together we can keep this rendezvous with destiny.
In the next several minutes, you will learn things about President Ronald Reagan that you've never seen, heard, or read before. Welcome to today's special Newsmax event celebrating the life and legacy of President Reagan. During this historic presentation, we will commemorate President Reagan's storied life. We'll revisit his 2 terms in office and recollect his proudest achievements and greatest challenges. Ronald Reagan's life reads like a fairy tale of success stories. He was an accomplished athlete, an honored veteran, a famous actor, the governor of California, and of course, our nation's 40th president.
He called himself a citizen politician and only entered politics
when he warned government was gaining too much power. By then he was age 54, with a successful career behind him. Twice elected President of the United States, Ronald Wilson Reagan was a contradiction to some. Once a Democrat, then a Republican. A champion of smaller government whose own government grew. A fiscal conservative who failed to balance the budget. His critics mistook his affability for weakness, but behind the smile and the charm existed an extraordinary leader with unique skills and bold and revolutionary ideas.
We only had time to share just a few of the top defining moments in Ronald Reagan's presidency, but you'll get to see them all in Rendezvous with Destiny. By the way, the president's close relationship with the Pope is especially fascinating. You'll also learn how dealing with an alcoholic father helped shape Reagan's ability to negotiate. And if you ever wondered what the leader of the free world likes to get for the holidays, well, you'll find that out as well. So let's review today in this free offer. We are sending you a copy of Ronald Reagan, Rendezvous with Destiny, and the collector's limited edition of our issue commemorating the 100th anniversary of President Reagan's birth.
Right now, when you subscribe to Newsmax Magazine, you can own both the DVD and receive the special Reagan 100th Birthday Commemorative Edition. That's $25 in bonus gifts when you subscribe. Go to newsmax.com/Reagan13 to subscribe today. Join the millions who read Newsmax Magazine every month.
Get off the sidelines and be a part of the show. Call Steve toll-free at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Coming up, we are going to have an interview with the great Victor Davis Hanson, Senior Fellow at the Hoover Institution. That's the second Hoover Institution Senior Fellow of the day, talking about coming disasters that you could attribute, no, not to global warming, interestingly enough, no, but to the Democratic Party or the Democratic Party's policies, and that is going to be very interesting conversation. Victor Davis Hanson is a great writer and a great thinker, and I can't wait to speak with him. So the World Series is tonight. I don't know. I haven't gotten predictions from the staff. I don't know who's going to win. The Cardinals have a very strong team with very strong pitching. And I don't know what the line is, whether or not they're the favorite. Also, the Cardinals are out for some revenge from 2004 when Boston beat them in the World Series after the Red Sox came back from down 0-3 and beat the Yankees in the ALCS. You might remember that. But nonetheless, I'm rooting for the Red Sox. I'm an American League guy. I really don't have an interest in the series as far as a rooting interest. My interest is I hope Don Mattingly doesn't get fired as the manager of the Dodgers. I know that Magic Johnson during the last series was mouthing off about Mattingly and some of the other things that the team needs. And what is Magic Johnson may be part owner, but what does he know about baseball? And Don Mattingly is Donnie Baseball, and he did a great job with that team, notwithstanding their loss in the ALCS to the Cardinals. And they fired his bench coach. And you fire someone's bench coach, that's a signal. Usually the signal is, guess what? You don't have too long to be here. Okay, we're coming back. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV, and you know what else? Well, radio, of course.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Larry works on the construction site when he's not held up with constipation. Mary sits all day at a desk, which does little to relieve gas and bloating. You can't schedule abdominal discomfort, but you can help alleviate it with Back2Pro. Developed by holistic medical doctor David Brownstein, Back2Pro is the fiber probiotic supplement that comes in the form of an easy-to-eat, tasty wafer. It includes the most essential ingredients necessary to help support your healthy digestive and immune function. Experience the results. Learn how you can receive a 30-day supply of Back2Pro. Just visit back2pro.com/offer. All you cover is a $4.95 shipping fee. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Probiotics and Your Health. Do something about your digestive health now. Get your 30-day supply at back2pro.com/offer. That's BACTIPRO.com/offer. Limited time only. back2pro.com/offer.
Do you have trouble remembering things you've known for years? Do you want to maintain your mental edge, support your memory, focus, and attention? After extensive research, Dr. Russell Blaylock discovered 4 essential nutrients that help sustain optimal brain function. Dr. Russell Blaylock then personally formulated Crescio, the dietary supplement containing these 4 brain boosters that promote brain cognitive health, improve learning and retention. Crescio supports brain circulation and provides antioxidant protection. And now you can receive a 30-day supply of Crescio. All you pay is a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit Crescio.com/special. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, Nature's Brain Boosters, Essential Nutrients for Peak Mental Performance. Give your brain the healthy support it needs. Learn how you can receive your 30-day supply at Crescio.com/special. That's CRESCEO.com/special. Crescio.com/special.
If you are successful at what you do, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a business owner, or you have a great career, you understand the concept of protecting yourself. Well, are you protecting yourself, your family, and your assets with quality term life insurance? Consider these possible rates. A man age 45 non-tobacco user could obtain $1 million of coverage for as little as $75 a month, and this rate is fixed for the next 10 years. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. A man age 50 non-tobacco user may be able to obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $115 a month. And this rate is fixed for the next 20 years. We have great rates for smokers too. Call the Term Lifeline now. 800-430-1309, 800-430-1309, 800-430-1309.
Bad credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates or low minimum payments, and before you know it, you owe thousands of dollars in credit card debt. It has happened to millions of good people just like you. But here's the good news. Thanks to a powerful program now approved, anyone with $2,000 or more in credit card debt can cut their credit card payments up to half and even reduce or eliminate interest charges altogether. That's right. Our nationwide nonprofit program is helping U.S. residents cut their credit card payments. Call 800-613-3159 now. The call and information are free. We've helped over 500,000 people with their credit card debt, and now we can help you. Call 800-613-3159 to see how this powerful nonprofit program can work for you. Bad credit card debt happens to good people. Get free of credit card debt today. Call 800-613-3159. That's 800-613-3159. Again, 800-613-3159.
Microphones hot. Satellite link established. Studio lights illuminated. Cameras roll. Microphones hot. Satellite link established. Studio lights illuminated. Cameras roll. Streaming. The most technology advanced radio show is on the air. Here's the captain of this enterprise, Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We're very honored to have joining us right now a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution, of course, great author and thinker, Victor Davis Hanson. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello.
Nice to talk to you. Appreciate you coming on. Let's start with, I'm reading now, CNN, the contractor involved in this whole computer debacle says it was a last-minute change that caused all of the problems. You know, you wrote a great piece which talked about all the landmines that lie ahead for us as Americans due to the policies of Barack Obama and the Democrats. And why don't we start with Obamacare? As you rightfully point out, we're finding out every single day premiums aren't going to go up, aren't going to go down. They're going up. If you like your insurance, you can't necessarily keep it. And certainly if you like your doctor, you can't necessarily keep him. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I mean, these issues aren't contingent on a website. I think all of us, either when we have our open enrollment in October, which is occurring now, or we know people, we hear all sorts of stories, and what we do not hear is that the deductibles are going down, the premiums are going down, the coverage is being is competitive, more competitive than it was. Nobody's from the government saying this is going to lower the deficit. Nobody in business is saying this is going to make me more competitive, especially in the global sense. All of those promises that we were told just haven't happened. So, as I see this thing unwinding, that the shutdown now is ancient history. Nobody's going to be talking about it another week. They're not even talking about it now. But this thing is not specific to a problem with a web design. It's intrinsic, and it's going to be serial, and it's going to be insidious for the next 13 months.
I think you said it brilliantly when you said that over 300 million people are going to find that their health care is analogous to going down to the DMV.
Yeah, it is. It already is. It's already starting to. And it's sort of like these things that happen in American cultural history, whether it's the Edsel or New Coke. Somebody has an idea, they don't research it sufficiently, they don't bring it out. It's not what the public wants. They try to force it down the throat of the public, and you got problems. And in this case, the biggest flaw of it is that you really have to tell 30 million young people who are in good health and either don't have insurance or they got very cheap catastrophic insurance that they're going to have to pay a lot more for something they do not use very much, so that somebody who uses it a lot and doesn't pay very much for it will be balanced. And the problem is that the older cohort that will want that type of coverage subsidized is usually more affluent than the younger people who are experiencing record levels of unemployment. So I just don't see that young people are going to flock to this. I don't see a lot of people without insurance. Where I live in one of the poorest counties in California, which has the highest poverty rate of any state in the nation at 20. Where I live in one of the poorest counties in California, which has the highest poverty rate of any state in the nation at 20 clinic, or they're on Medi-Cal, Medicaid, and they don't see anything wrong with that, at least not wrong enough to jump into a whole new program.
Right, and of course the provisions are the way the bill is written is that these young people may or should be well aware that they don't have to do anything until they get sick because they can't be turned.
They will.
Right.
Absolutely. If you're a young 25-year-old and somebody says, well, do you have insurance? And he says, well, maybe, and he tries to go on, and after an hour he can't get on. He just kind of shrugs and says, you know what, I haven't been sick in 4 years. Maybe if I play soccer or baseball, I might have a problem, but I'll just go pay the fine when I go to the emergency room.
Right, and if you get sick, God forbid, you could sign up for insurance because they can't they can't deny you for a pre-existing condition.
Yeah,
So
I think the problem with the president is that every promise that he gave the American people, this 2,700-page bill, has turned out to be erroneous. It was sold under so many different pretexts that businesses would love it because it would make them globally competitive, that people wouldn't have to change their program, that doctors would like it, and none of it's true. None of it is, and so I see that in a strictly political sense getting worse each month, not better. Whereas the Republicans suffered from the shutdown, but it's over with. The Democrats are having a problem that's going to increase, and when you look at the comprehensive immigration bill, you're starting to see something somewhat similar, because there's elements in that bill that nobody knows about, but they will know about it, such as that we're going to offer a pathway to citizenship, that people have 2 DUI arrests. We're going to offer, we say we're talking about legal immigration reform, but we're still offering the vast majority of legal admittance to people who have family ties or proximity to the border. So we're not going to say, a Korean engineer or a Serbian MD goes to the front of the line. That's just a small minority of the legal people under the comprehensive reform. There's no guarantee that the border has to be closed. So I think everybody, is willing talk about a pathway to citizenship, but this bill, once people start to understand it, they're not going to see in the bill itself to citizenship. But this bill, once people start to understand it, they're not going to see in the bill itself.
Talking to Victor Davis Hanson, Senior Fellow at the Hoover Institution, and you could read him at victorhanson.com. I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to go there next, but this disaster, if it does come to fruition as you describe it, my fear certainly is, and this is the only way it can get done, is that it will not be just, as healthcare was, a Democratic disaster. This will be with the compliance of Republicans in the House of Representatives, and I keep hearing and reading about these backdoor deals, and with Paul Ryan involved leading the charge, and I don't understand, and I'm frightened because I think the American public has forgotten about this. Even some of the Tea Partiers have forgotten about this, and it's on the back burner. And maybe the Republicans feel they could just do this and not suffer many consequences.
I don't think they're going to.
And it's on the back burner. And maybe the Republicans feel they could just do this and not suffer many consequences.
I don't think they're going to. And is residing illegally and has been arrested for drunk driving twice. I don't think they're going to say yes. I just don't think it's going to happen. And I don't think they're going to say yes to somebody who's been on federal assistance. So somebody who's on state on some type of food stamp or disability or Section 8 housing, I don't think that, and that's going to be a sizable minority of the applicants. The other thing is, if the other states follow the California model in which we are legalizing driver's license, jury duty, you can even be a lawyer, in-state tuition, there's going to be a lot of people who say to themselves, why should I even go through the struggle or pay the fine and try to be a citizen when I can reside in the United States with a green card that's handed out to me? My children will be U.S. citizens. I just won't even take advantage of that. There's no such thing as living in the shadows almost anymore with these sanctuary cities and all these prohibitions against law enforcement for arresting people on the fact that they're here illegally. So the more you learn about this bill, the more it starts to resemble the contradictions of Obamacare, and I don't think it's a winning issue for the Democrats.
Well, what about, but again, where do the Republicans stand as far as you know? I mean, because I just don't understand what they don't understand about everything you're saying, and in my view as well, that the 30 million or so that will eventually become voting citizens of this country will be 95% or more, Democrat voters.
Well, they will be, but I think
country will be 95% or more, Democrat voters.
Well, they will be, but I think the fact is, in the case of health care, in 13 months, people are not going to say, well, I'm really happy that the Republican establishment worked with the Democrats and sort of let this Obamacare prevail. They're going to say, well, maybe the Tea Party Republicans were a little tough, or maybe they were desperate, but they had the right idea to stop this thing. And the same thing with comprehensive immigration. Maybe right now people are going to say you're a nativist or xenophobe, but if you start to look at it and draw it out, people are going to start to appreciate those who stood up for it. And we can go down the line with the effect on this continually low interest, zero interest to service this massive debt. And the debt itself, we were told by the Obama administration, they inherited a debt that was caused by 3 or 4 things. One was the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. The second was a recession. They told us the third was we didn't have taxes on the upper income brackets. He got taxes on the upper income brackets. The war in Iraq is over. It's almost over in Afghanistan, and we're supposedly in a recovery, and we've gone from $1.2 trillion deficit to $700 billion. So we haven't really, you can say that he's cut it radically, but that's only because it was so large in the beginning. But my gosh, if you have sequestration and tax increases and a supposedly recovering economy and no more foreign wars, and you're still running $700 billion, there has to be another explanation, and we all know what that was all the time. It's entitlement spending and expansions in federal redistributive all the time. It's entitlement spending and expansions in federal redistributive. There's no margin of error. You have to have about a 2% or less Federal Reserve payment interest rate so that you can service the $17 trillion debt. And the only reason that we're even talking right now in a country that has a viable economy is that although the debt is 3 times larger than it was in 1995, the interest that we're paying is about the same because the interest rate's so low. But if that would even go up 2 points, we would
be
quickly see that about a third of the budget has to pay for these Obama debts. So I don't think that's another long-term consideration that I don't think looks good for the Democrats.
Yeah, and that's all in your great column. And Victor, great talking to you, sir. Well, I hope you'll come. That's all in your great column. And Victor, great talking to you, sir. Well, I hope you'll come show. And he's right. He's right on all counts. And people don't understand that. We talk about the debt in terms of real numbers or the numbers, dollar numbers, but we're not talking about the interest, the interest rates. And if we, go back, as he said, if the interest rates, which are at historic lows, almost non-existent, went up 1 or 2 basis points, then historic lows, almost non-existent, went up 1 or 2 basis points, then hanging by a thread on so many levels. All right, when we come back, that interview that Kathleen Sebelius did with Sanjay Gupta, the self-appointed, a reputation destructionist of Dick Cheney. We'll let you hear what she had to say. Just incredible stuff. She needed 5 years to get this off the ground, not 3. They would have liked 5. Whew. Steve Malzberg shows to get this off the ground, not 3. They would have liked 5. Whew. Steve Malzberg show and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Hi, this is Dick Morris. Obamacare is taking full effect this year with over 15,000 pages of regulations. You need to know how this law affects you. That's why you should get your copy of Obamacare's Survival Guide. It's easy to read and the best guide to the new law. Even if you're currently insured or a senior on Medicare or a business owner, a medical professional, or really any citizen, you need the Obamacare Survival Guide. In it, you'll find about hidden taxes, fees, and fines, including a 40% tax on some health plans. I warned you about Obamacare. It's rationing, Medicare cuts, and will trigger doctor shortages. Now the Obamacare Survival Guide gives you the simple steps to protect your family.
Get the Obamacare Survival Guide at bookstores everywhere. It's already an Amazon bestseller. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 today. Go to Obamacare311.com. Obamacare311.com. That's Obamacare311.com.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
If you're a man over 40, your prostate could be forcing you to urinate frequently, even disrupting your sleep multiple times each night. You're not alone. Over half of men over 40 experience age-related prostate concerns. Fortunately, prominent medical doctor David Brownstein believes that aging prostate concerns are not inevitable. That's why Dr. Brownstein developed Prostate Revive, an advanced dietary supplement containing a unique blend of 15 ingredients designed to promote optimal prostate health. So men, as part of this new radio promotion, you now have the opportunity to claim your own 30-day supply of Prostate Revive, containing saw palmetto, beta-cytosterol, and numerous other prostate helpers. Just cover a $4.95 shipping and handling charge. Plus, if you act now, you'll also get a doctor's guide to a healthy prostate as a bonus gift. Please visit prostaterevive.com/radio for details on getting your 30-day supply of Prostate Revive and free report. That's prostaterevive.com/radio. Do something about those annoying age-related prostate concerns. Visit prostaterevive.com/radio now while supplies last.
A hot new book by Craig Smith argues that the greenback is now at high risk. Thanks to our spendthrift politicians, Mark Twain said the truth is stranger than fiction. The same is true of the Great Debasement, which began a century ago with the creation of the Federal Reserve and income tax. The result, today's dollar retains just 2 cents of its original buying power. Yes, progressive politicians have engineered the largest wealth confiscation in history, creating in essence a fourth branch of government. Learn what what must be done to preserve your money if the dollar crashes. The good news is Swiss America is offering the Great Debasement, a $20 value free of charge for this special radio offer.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. Call Swiss America now for a free DVD. 800-818-3967.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. You need to watch out because thousands of new Obamacare rules are currently being implemented, and few know what the law says or does. Listen to what Senator Max Baucus, one of the authors of the Obamacare law, recently said.
I tell you, I just see a huge train wreck coming down, and I don't see any results yet. I just see a huge train wreck.
He's right. So protect yourself from this train wreck. Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law. Join more than 500,000 Americans who have their copy.
Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 off #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 off Obamacare311.com. That's Obamacare311.com.
Get off the sidelines and be a part of the show. Call Steve toll-free at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Here is Steve Malzberg.
A friend of mine was given 6 months by his doctor. Not to live, to sign up for Obamacare. It took 6 months to sign up. You know, I got to admit, I don't quite understand how the whole Obamacare thing works. Like the other day, I got a flu shot, but it was from a drone. The president spoke today about it regarding the Obamacare website glitches. The president says he's bringing in the best and the brightest to solve the problem. Here's my question. Why didn't we bring in the best and the brightest in the first place? You see that?
Yeah, baby. You go, Jay. You go. Welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so Kathleen Sebelius. Remember what Kathleen Sebelius is where she is. Tom Daschle, former senator, was nominated to be HHS secretary, and turned out that he was too big of a tax cheat, from what I recall. Whereas Timothy Geithner, who cheated on his taxes, was a small enough tax cheat to become Secretary of the Treasury. You see how it works in Obama land? Gotcha. Okay. So anyway, Kathleen Sebelius is on with Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Now, if you think this wasn't, you know, I keep reading, oh, he gave her hard-hitting questions, and he grilled her. And look, Sanjay Gupta was picked by Barack Obama. I almost said Dr. Obama. By Barack Obama to be the Surgeon General of the United States. Sanjay Gupta declined. He didn't want to put himself through it or whatever, for whatever reason. So they're tight, okay? Sanjay Gupta is a big Obama supporter. Kathleen Sebelius is the fall person. So to deflect attention away from Obama, Sebelius goes on with Gupta. It's wink, wink, nod, nod. I'll ask you the tough questions. And she looked like an idiot. She looked like an idiot. She sounded like an idiot. You had 3 years to get ready, he says to her. Why couldn't you get this right? Well, we needed 5. What? I mean, could you have given a worse answer if you rehearsed it? Did I say rehearsed it? I'm not implying they rehearsed it. But Sebelius was asked, when did the president know about the problems, and should you be fired? And here's cut 22.
You know, according to congressional investigators, just weeks before the launch, about 2/3 of insurers had some concerns, specific concerns that the website would not be ready. Just days before the launch, a test was conducted, and the website crashed with just a few hundred users at that time. How was the decision made to still go forward?
Well, Sanjay, there are people in this country who have waited decades for affordable health coverage for themselves and their families. I see them all over the country. You probably saw them on your recent bus tour, people who are so eager for this to happen. And what's clear is we have a product. The product really works.
Yeah, the products really, really work. All right, so she didn't answer there. Here's more. Listen to cut 23.
The president did say that he was angry about this. I mean, do you know when he first knew that there was a problem?
Well, I think it became clear fairly early on, the first couple of days, that...
So not before that, though? Not before October 1st? There was no concern at that point, either in the White House or at HHS?
I think that we talked about having testing going forward, and if we had an ideal situation and could have built a product in, a 5-year period of time, we probably would have taken 5 years. But we didn't have 5 years, and certainly Americans who rely on health coverage didn't have 5 years for us to wait. We wanted to make sure we made good on this final implementation of the law.
Is that the... again, I'm rendered almost speechless because I don't even know what to call that answer. Is she trying so hard to deflect all the time? No, Barack Obama didn't know anything about any problem. Of course he didn't. Either he did and he was involved, or he's the most hands-off president. I don't care. Detached president, disinterested president on every level with everything. He doesn't care. He doesn't know. He's not involved. He was playing what, Parcheesi during the Obama raid or whatever the heck in the parlor room or something. Remember his not bodyguard, but his best buddy, the former basketball player, revealed by accident that Obama and him were playing cards or something for hours during the raid. So maybe he didn't know, but for whatever reason, she needed 5 years to have the rollout work out right. 5 years? I don't know what else to say. Stunning is, I think, what Marco Rubio called it. All right, next one. This would be cut number 24.
If this persists, or even at this point now, would you consider resigning over this?
I think my job is to get this fully implemented and to get the website working right, and that's really what I'm focused on. I work at the pleasure of the president. He is singularly focused on making sure we deliver on this promise. That's what I'm committed to doing.
What has he said to you about this?
Let's get it done.
Let's get it done. Brilliant. That's why Barack Obama is so brilliant. That's why he was elected twice. He said to Kathleen Sebelius after this humongous disaster, let's get it right. Or no, let's get it done. Mr. President, that's ingenious. See, I thought we needed 5 years, but you're telling me now, let's get it done. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha now. Thank you, Dr. Obama. What is this? What? And then, why not end the show? I think we played this Sharpton cut yesterday. Maybe we should do a Sharpton cut every day. But then we'd be accused of being racist or something. Here he is criticizing Congressman Darrell Issa and the House Oversight Committee for daring to investigate the website problems. Here's cut number 29.
As we all know, the Obamacare website has issues the administration is working hard to fix. But what does Issa see? His next scandal. Here he was today on Fox.
The fact is, political interference a month out hid the problem and buried the information they didn't want seen.
So the problem's not some bad code. It's not too much traffic from people wanting health care. It was, quote, political interference.
I'm sorry. See, I don't view Al Sharpton as a TV and radio host. I view him in the context of who he is, who I've known him to be for 30 years or more. To me, I can't get the rabble-rousing Al Sharpton, the racist Al Sharpton, the comments, the Greek homos, calling David Dinkins the N-word, Crown Heights Al Sharpton, Tawana Brawley Al Sharpton, white interloper Al Sharpton, Freddie Smart. I can't get all that out of my head. So when I see him making believe he's a TV and radio host, I laugh. Indulge me on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.